Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
We're going to give you a rulebook rundown of Bretwalda.
Yes, the third B of our channel.
Yeah.
Bretwalda. They have joined us. Yeah, so Bretwalda, brand new game. Check out our unboxing before this. It's going to be a lot of fun. This comes from Phalanx, who created Successors. One of my favorite games ever. Nick enjoys it, but I definitely enjoy it more.
Yes, that's why he owns it now.
Yes.
I had this one coming because like this seems like it's gonna be more up my alley regarding the theme of like the medieval Viking sort of thing.
Where I love a good like Alexander the Great Macedonia story.
I do too, but I've definitely found over like the years of like the Norse mythology and Greek mythology that I'm definitely leaning, or at least the culture. I think.
I was like, that's not Greek mythology.
Leaning into I've been leaning into the culture more of the Viking thing. I really enjoy that whole area. So the artwork for this is gorgeous, but we're gonna start off with a story. Britain, 796 A.D. King Offa of Mercia, the Bretwalda, the king of the Seven Kingdoms, first of his name, the Andals. Sorry, not Game of Thrones, my bad.
The father of
draws his last breath. Who will claim his title as the new Bretwalda? The island is plagued by internal conflict and bloodstains in fertile lands. Plots, feuds, and treachery are rife. The four major kingdoms, Mercia, Northumbria, East Anglia, and Wessex, all vie for supremacy. But time is short. With every passing summer, raiding Danes grow more savage, more ambitious. Will any succeed before the cold steel of the Vikings conquer all? So there's definitely a theme with Phalanx games so far. So Successors, Alexander the Great died, and someone had to be the successor. Here, the Bretwalda, King Offa of Mercia, died, and so now they are competing to be the new Bretwalda. So we typical components list and everything on the board, and then we're going to get right into setup.
Yes. Before I read setup, just to let everyone know who's watching this, if you are someone who bought Bretwalda and you bought one of the higher tiers with the expansions, at the very end of this video, we will have chapters for those expansions.
Yes.
So we're going to go through exactly how the game plays, the base version, and then we'll bring out each of the 3 expansions we have and cover how those set up into it, as well as how they play.
Yep.
All right.
I'm excited to get into it.
Yes. I just want to clarify that in case you're looking for, like, hey, what about these cards? But those will come. All right. Game setup. There are 4 kingdoms. Each has its own color and capital. And it is English color, so color. So East Anglia is green. Capital Thedfor. Mercia is blue. Capital Tamworthy. Northumbria is yellow. Yerforwick is the capital. And Wessex is red. Wintochester
Northumbria
is their capital.
Yep. So we have green, blue, yellow, red.
Yes. And for this example, we're going to run this as a 2-player setup with red and yellow. So each has units in its own color, as well as dedicated control and kingdom markers, and a bunch of other things. We're going to go through those now. So step 1. What would you like step 1 to be?
I'm going to unfold the board and put it in the middle of the table for 200.
Yes. I didn't say to unfold the board, I said place the board. All right. Next up, shuffle the Lordship deck, which is this.
Okay.
That will go into... It's already done.
I'm giving them the example.
And place them on the designated space of the board. Shuffle the Danes deck, which is this one.
I Dane you. Like there, cut it. No.
And that will go into that corner of the board. And the Chronicle deck. And the Chronicle deck will go into this corner of the board. It also says that discarded Dane card and Dane's cards and Chronicle cards are always placed at the bottom of the deck. Discarded Lordship cards are placed face up next to the board in a discard pile.
Okay.
So most likely they won't get reused, or maybe you can draw up the discard pile. We don't know.
Yeah, it might run out too. Like that might be things you draw from, so that deck might run out, so you reshuffle.
Yeah. Place each player's kingdom marker, which is the little thing there, on the 0. Over there. Place the Daux and neutral units on the board in their indicated areas. So we do have a whole slew of neutral units. So neutral in this game is considered white. So we will bring out all of these white units, and they will be placed out onto the game board.
Does it tell you where?
It does. But give me 1 second. Pop all these out. We'll cut this from the video because I didn't know. Should have read that stuff.
That's all good. Doesn't take that long to pop out. These little guys. I assume it has something to do with the unit number, and the white shield is probably where they're starting at.
Possibly. The missing whites.
You have them all.
The stupid ones. I hate the picture.
It's gonna be the same white units that we have, I assume.
No, I know, but the picture is this forward, and I'm like, I wish it would show sideways to show that there's a horse.
They have 4 horses.
Okay.
Oh no, it's the apocalypse.
So neutral units. Let's see here. What do we got on this side versus this board? What is the one? Okay. So this.
This is this. Right there is right here.
Okay. Yes, it is. Yep. Oh, that makes sense. I could have just looked at the outside of the board.
Yep.
So dude with a shield. One of those.
They all have shields.
Dude with a shield by his chest, not his ankles. We'll go right here. Horseman. Shield by ankles. That spot right there will get one of each of the types of shields.
Why don't you turn the book so it's the same orientation?
That's this one. Shield chest. No, horseman, sorry. Horseman. This is shield chest. Shield ankle. Shield chest. Shield ankle. Both shields.
Which space?
Oh, this one.
Okay.
Both shields.
Okay.
Horseman right on the symbol. Dead center. 2 ankle, 1 chest. 1 chest. 1 ankle. 1 horseman. 1 chest.
Alright. Double check.
No, I got it.
You sure?
Yep.
Alright.
All right, now the Dowks.
Trying to see if there's any. So that I don't see any.
There's no indicators, I don't think.
Interesting.
At least that.
That's so. So they're on the 2. Is anyone else on 2? They're on 2.
Yeah, there's no. And then this shield and this shield's the same, but those people are different.
2. All right.
So
use the rulebook every time to help you set up until you understand.
Which is kind of annoying because if it's always the same setup, regardless of how many players. But
yeah.
Dowks out of there.
Okay.
All right, so there's different Dowks here. So there is one Hampton. This one is a super fancy looking gem. If you just want that one right there.
So this guy here?
No, this one. This is the only one of that one.
Oh.
That is going to go in the middle.
It's marked.
Right there, yeah. All of the other Dowks will be... Just to make sure that they're all the same. They are. They are all... this one. So only these ones will be used now. So these are the 12 area Dowks. And those will go 1 here, 1 into this corner over here, 1 into this bottom corner over here, 1 joining this unit, 1 joining this unit, 1 joining this horse unit, 1 in this corner, 1 there, 1 joining this horse unit, 1 joining this unit, 1 here, and 1 right there, joining that set of units.
Okay.
All right. So those are all of the neutral units and the Dowks for the Haptum and the area. There's also 8 Chronicle Dowks and 4 Abbey Dowks.
So this actually is very standard for a Phalanx game. So in successors, you have, based on player count, which generals to keep in, which ones to remove. So you still have to reference the rulebook for setup.
But it seems like this... Oh.
I meant you have to reference the rulebook to set up. What?
to set up the game for 2 or 3 players, go to this page.
Okay, well, we're going through from the beginning, so we can set up 4 players.
No, I'm just seeing if it directly impacted that.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're starting at the front of the book anyway, so.
Yeah, no, but it says specifically for 2 to 3 player setup, so we're going to have to do that before we can continue through the setup, or through the gameplay.
No, we continue forward with 4 players, and then we.
Oh, that's true.
When we get to the 2 players, we go over it.
That's true. We just don't have 4 player things out here.
It's alright, so we'll create a bookmark for 2 player as well.
Yeah. Okay, so then it says, place the Dane units, which are all the black units, the pillage wounds, gold, food, allied dalks, and everything else, and building markers near the board. We have all of that outside of your view, ready to go. Shuffle the season cards in spring, summer, autumn, and fall. That is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Place 3 of the cards from each deck face down on the designated spots on the board. The other cards are not used.
Nice.
So that is
like
right
that.
here.
Randomized.
So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These are shuffled because we don't know what any of these mean anyway.
It's true.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh.
Typical.
Yep.
Place the round marker, which is that boy right there, on the space marked with an I. Yep, and that is the 1. Or, sorry, a Roman numeral 1.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It wasn't in context in the book. It's an I. So Roman numeral 1, which is the farthest left of the season track. Each player then receives the following.
Okay.
So each player will receive 1 kingdom board. That is the long board spread out in front of you. You'll receive a stack of kingdom tiles. The back of the kingdom tile will have your card color, or your player color.
Because I spelled it. Red.
Perfect. You will have a set of action markers. Nope. Those. That Nick alleges are the 4 of the same color. I think they're 1 of each color. We'll find out shortly.
Why would you have an action marker for a different color?
Because specifically everything else in this picture is 1 color, and this
You're
shows
wrong.
all 4. We're going to find out. You're going to have 4 your action markers of your own color, or your control markers of your own color.
Oh, look, it would just said a set of action markers. 1 set. It just said that.
No, it didn't say it.
You
I
literally
just I
read
said
1
it wrong.
set.
No. It says, takes the following items, and it just says action markers. It doesn't say
Oh.
of your own color or anything.
Well, they're my...
Control
Control
markers,
markers.
those are of your own color, because that makes sense. You're going to have units of your kingdom color. The units for the base game are 1 king and 1 queen, which are the 2 tall ones. You will have 1 bishop. You will have 1 alderman, which is a guy on a horse. You will have 4 thangs, which are the ones with the shields towards its chest, similar to what we put on the board already.
Thang.
You'll have 8 crowls, which are the ones with the shield near the ankles. You will have 2 ships. Boop, boop. You will also receive 1 lordship card face down to start the game. So you get 1, I get 1. And it specifically says, keep it face down in the player so no other player can see
This
it.
is not a lordship card, is it?
Yes, it is.
Are these not the lordship cards?
Those are chronicle cards.
Oh, okay. So he's had it off the side. Okay.
Yeah. You will now receive 3 chronicle cards. Selecting 2, the 3rd is discarded to the bottom of the deck. The 2 remaining cards are placed face down on the relevant space of your kingdom board.
Right there.
So we look at them, be like, okay, cool, and discard 1. These go to the bottom of the deck. And you have a spot on your kingdom board.
Yep.
Underneath everything that I have in the way. Okay. You will then receive 1 of your ruler cards. And then from that card, choose the king or the queen side. The remaining rulers are placed under the chosen ruler card. So you choose so you probably randomly get 1 of these 3. So you randomly get 1 of them. Then you would pick either side, the queen side or the king side.
I was looking at the glare on the cards. You're going to adjust that at some point.
And put it down in that section. Boom.
I'm going to do expert.
Okay.
Then those you don't need?
No, they go underneath.
Oh.
So you have to choose the king or the queen side. So you chose that, and then the other 2 just stay underneath.
Got it.
Okay, it says, for more randomness, You may choose to go to Randomized Rulers, page 30. So I'm assuming that could be like different colors. We'll cover that towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, each player in their capital city, so it's going to be literally the capital that we covered before. So for red, it's going to be Winchester.
Nope.
Here, Winchester.
Winchester.
That's what it says.
That's what I'm putting there.
And for me, it's going to be over here in Euphoric. You are going to put the appropriate ruler, the king or the queen, based on your choice.
We'll want to put out the other ones too so they can see where they're going.
Yeah.
So king and queen?
King or queen, based on your choice.
Okay.
You are going to put your alderman on the horse. You're going to put one thing, one scroll, one control marker, all down in that location. Additionally, what you have, you're going to take one food marker.
Yep.
And put it into your location as well. Yep, so for the other players, it's this square and that square. The food marker is probably good enough for starting. So it's going to be this one and that one for all of their appropriate pieces. And then it says, randomly determine who will be the pretender. The player takes the pretender marker, which is big boy there. The pretender determines the direction of play. So he'll be the pretender for this. And then again, it says for 2 to 3 player setup, look at page 25. For advanced setup, look at page 28.
All right, so continuing with where we're at, on to how to claim the title of Bretwalda. There are 4 ways to achieve victory. Number 1, instant victory. If at any point you have 8 Daleks, you are instantly proclaimed the Bretwalda. Were these the Daleks?
Daleks are those markers, yes.
Yeah, okay.
What does it say exactly?
The moment you have 8, you are proclaimed
8,
the Bretwalda.
it says Daleks?
Daleks.
Okay, so these are just area Daleks.
Yeah.
So there are other ones that you'll gain. So just the ones on the border area Daleks. And then the Hampton is the one in the center.
Yep, just says if you have 8 Daleks, in general, you are instantly proclaimed the Bretwalda. Number 2, end of season. If at the end of any season you possess 7 Daleks, you are proclaimed the Bretwalda. So if at any point you have 8, like the moment you get the 8th, immediately win.
Yeah.
If at the end of a season you have at least 7, or if you have 7, then you immediately win as well.
At least 7. You're like, oh man, I forgot I won at 8. I'm going to try again.
Number 3, player elimination. If at the end of a season, any player has removed their last ruler card, all their rulers have been slain, the game ends. If you have the highest number of Daleks among the remaining players, you are proclaimed the Bretwalda. However, a player who has removed their last ruler card cannot be proclaimed the Bretwalda. Bless you.
Thank you. Okay.
Interesting.
So it's just one player.
So if you're playing in a 4-player game, once one player is completely slain in their entire kingdom, game ends. Whoever has the most Bretwalda or Daleks wins. Unless it was that slain character, then it's whoever the next has the highest.
Which makes sense.
So that's cool. So like,
can't be alive to take the title.
Well, that's a nice like escalation because if you're winning in the Dalek category, and you just have everyone coming after you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to strategically try to backdoor grab them and not show too much power.
End of game is the 4th way to achieve victory. If no one has won by the end of the round 12, my friends sound. First I'm reading English today. The game ends. If you have the highest number of Daleks, you are proclaimed the Bretwalda. So Daleks are the way you win, period. Either you get to 8 first, you have 7 at the end of a season, you have the most when one person completely dies out, or you have the most if they get to
the finals.
Get through the final round.
Yep.
Good to know. Easy enough. If 2 or more players meet the victory conditions, the victor is the kingdom that, in priority order, has the most. Number 1, controlled land areas. If still tied, capitals. If still tied, areas with cities. If still tied, food in areas they control. If still tied, gold in their supply. In the highly unlikely situation that there is still a tie, the title of Bretwalda is shared. You battle to the death in real life. That's really what happens. What's that?
I assumed current pretender because that was how this... That went through the same order as this paper, but until the last spot.
Okay. So the core game concepts. There are 2 different types of areas in the game. Land and sea. Pretty easy to tell. Land, sea. There are cities. So a city is a type of land area. It has a shield under the area's name. So where we have all of our characters. So like here, this has a shield underneath the city name. The cities are very clearly marked all over the board. They specifically have a shield. So this down here has no shields. That is not a city. And they do look bigger. They look like cities, which is nice. There's a capital. So capital is a city with a shield and one of the kingdom colors.
Yeah, it's very clearly in the center is the color of your kingdom.
Yep, exactly. Boom. And then there is the countryside. A countryside is a type of land area that does not have a shield. So the brown areas here, no shield, no shield, no shield. Those are all countrysides. There are multiple islands. So like you see here, there are 2 islands in the game, Man and Wit. These are treated like countryside for all purposes. Land units can move to and from an island via sea transport. Then there is the sea. There are 5 seas in the game: North Sea, Themisia Sea, South Sea, Seafern Sea, and Eyre Sea. Each features a ship symbol. Areas are separated by a thick blue border. See?
Yep.
Big blue border. Then there are harbors. A harbor is not a specific area, but exists within a city, capital, or countryside. There is no maximum number of units per area. So food and gold symbols and land areas tell you if those land areas produce food and or gold and how much. So there's no maximum to the number of units you can have in one spot. On here, it'll tell you how much food or gold is produced based on the location it says. It goes over the Chronicle cards. So I don't know if you want to look at one of your Chronicle cards and go over it.
Sure.
So we have the artwork, which is top middle.
Yep.
Of course. You have the name of the card, which is in red. Then you have the condition below that, which must be met in order to complete the card. So the Chronicles are like objectives. Chronicle cards are secret objectives you fulfill to obtain Dalks. They represent the achievement of goals worthy of the Chronicles of Anglo-Saxon Britain. Completing Chronicles. You complete a Chronicle card by fulfilling the required conditions printed on it. This can happen at any point in the game. You can complete a maximum of 2 Chronicle cards in the game. Period.
We only have 2.
You can only do 2. When you complete a Chronicle card, reveal it and announce it has been completed, then put it in the box. It won't be used in the game anymore. Place a Dalk on your kingdom board and move your kingdom marker up by 1 space on the victory track, which would be up on the board. Victory track. Then draw 1 Chronicle card, so you always have 2 in your hand.
Okay.
Yep. Once the second Chronicle is completed, any remaining Chronicle cards in your hand are discarded to the bottom of the Chronicle cards deck, and no more cards are drawn. You can never hold more than 2 Chronicle cards in your hand. So you can only ever hold 2, you can only ever complete 2.
Does it say what type of Dalk to put on your board when you complete it?
Just as a Dalk. I assume it's the one that matches the symbol. That's the other one that's here. That's this.
Yeah, that's the non-Abbey one.
Yep.
Well, I was going to ask because there's so perfect example for that. That's the exact reason I asked.
The next spot is there's Dalk types at the bottom.
Okay, so on your player board there are 2 spaces for those exact 2 Dalks that you can gain from your Chronicle cards.
There's a different one. That's this thing.
Yeah, that's the Abbey Dalk.
Right. All right. So next we have control. So control shows the geographic spread of your kingdom. Your control, you can control any area that contains 1 of your control markers. Those guys there. These are placed by moving your land units into areas that do not have 1 of your control markers after winning any battles in those areas. So first, if there are any units there, you have to win the battle before you could put your control down. So now we get into the different Dalks. So Dalks are a type of Anglo-Saxon brooch, recognized as symbols of wealth, influence, and power. In the game, they are equivalent to victory points. Your claim to the title of Bretwalda is measured by the number of Dalks you have. There are several Dalk patterns in the game. The differences are aesthetic only. Dalks are gained from controlling the central area on the game board, which has a very specific Dalk. Controlling other areas on the board that have Dalks, so those are the ones you put out initially. Completing Chronicle cards, those Dalks. And then lastly, there is controlling 3 or more Abbeys to get the other Dalk.
Yep.
Straightforward. Food and gold. Food and gold are the essential commodities required to run the kingdom. Food represents livestock, dairy products, bread, and crops. It is used to feed your units. Gold is required to recruit or upgrade units, place buildings, and bribe neutral units and Danes. Both commodities are most commonly obtained through the collection action. Both may be traded with other players. Kingdoms. There are 4 kingdoms in the game. East Anglia, Mercia, Northumbria, Wessex. Excuse me. These are the largest of the 7 kingdoms that made up the heptarchy in the period Bretwalda covers. There are kingdom tiles and buildings. Both kingdom tiles and buildings are placed as part of the development action. Kingdom tiles represent the military, religious, and bureaucratic development of your kingdom. In game terms, they provide boosts to actions and combat. Buildings represent important physical structures that further support the spiritual and economic growth of your land. There are 4 different types of buildings represented by markers that are placed in the area that they are built. So with us, we actually have the physical buildings instead of the markers. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's good.
It's right here. Cool. The other board?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we have one type of building here,
Killed them.
another one there, there, and there. What did you say?
Killed the guy.
I killed him. Yeah.
Brick killed
Good
the guy.
shot. Killed the guy. Lordship cards. So lordship cards represent good fortune and the tactical, political, or economic strength of your kingdom's ruler and court. They are kept secret and can be played at various points during a round. Cool. The lordship cards were these. No, is this?
The single one, yep.
Single one is the lordship card?
Yes.
So we can look at it, but they're kept secret from everybody else.
Yes. And
So
when you use it, you expose it, I'm assuming.
Well, the one I have here says God's Grace. It says Season Phase. And it says the effect of the just revealed season card does not apply to you except winter feeding. Then it looks like there's a gold cost and there's a sword in the bottom for whatever reason. We'll find out
I
now.
have
Sure.
a gold cost and a sword as well. Mine is Fate Intervenes. Can use it any time after a dice roll. Choose the face of one of the rolled dice.
Nice.
Don't know why, but we'll find out.
So it says they're kept secret and can be played at points during a round as set out on the card, so mine can be played during the season phase. Each card has a unique effect. Alternatively, each card can be used to add 1 gold to a development or third action. Third action? F-Y-R-D? Third? Third action.
Okay.
Yes. Or add 1 additional wound in battle. The sword. Nice. Lordship cards are placed in the discard pile after use. At the end of their turn, each player discards a number of lordship cards in their hand down to 8. So you can only have maximum 8 of these lordship cards at one time. Sounds like. So on the card, you have your name at the top, the artwork in the middle, when can be played in the middle section, like mine says, season phase. The card effect is below that. Then in the left-hand corner, you have the gold, so you may discard any number of lordship cards to add 1 gold to the development or field for each card you discard. It says, for the king or for the queen effect, after rolling the dice during a battle, you may discard the lordship cards to add 1 sword symbol per each card discarded up to the number of units you have in the battle. So after you roll, you can add those on, which is nice. Negotiation and exchanges between players. The period of history covered in this game was most intrigue, diplomacy, alliance building, and betrayal. Reflecting this, you are encouraged to engage in negotiations, make deals, and form alliances. Indeed, doing so is generally a prerequisite for victory. Such negotiations may just be a verbal agreement, or they may involve the swapping of purchased food or gold. Negotiations and exchanges can occur at any point. Note that there are no rules around promises being binding. Gives an example.
Monopoly all over again.
Yeah. So the example is, says, just prior to the bid for influence in the summer season, Northumbria gives East Anglia 2 gold to help East Anglia win the bid. In return, Northumbria requests that East Anglia will not land the Danes in any area it controls. East Anglia wins the bid, but reneges on the deal, landing the Danes in a Northumbria-controlled area.
Sounds about
And
right.
creating an enemy for life. Nice. Opposing and neutral units. An opposing unit is any unit you do not control, including neutral and Danes. One of each.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. Neutral and Dane units oppose each other. Pretender. The Pretender, this guy, is the player that is currently in the lead in the game as measured by their position on the victory track. Number of dalks they possess, or other determinants in the case of a tie. The pretender may change each round. Being the pretender brings several benefits. Cool. So whoever's in the lead is the pretender. So you can.
Yeah.
So if you are
Except for the start of the game, yeah.
right, you just choose, or we probably won't see who it is.
Yeah.
So the benefits are you're the first player. When you become the pretender, you determine the direction of play for the following round, either clockwise or counterclockwise. You determine who wins tie breaks during a bid for influence.
Ooh.
At the beginning of each season, you may take 1 gold as tribute from an opponent. That's crazy. And what
I
did you
don't
just
know
find
what
out?
the world you just said.
Sorry, I yawned. At the beginning of each season, you may take 1 gold from an opponent.
As the pretender.
Yep. If you're the
From an opponent or all opponents?
and
Okay.
1 opponent. And what did you just find out?
That I was right. That was,
You'll
find out soon enough. Yeah.
Nice. God damn. Rulers. A kingdom is ruled by...
This is how you know the rule book is good, because we didn't have to infer.
Exactly.
The rule book told us what to do. Nick just didn't believe it.
It's true. We just got done reading a terrible rule book, and so I assumed. And you know what they say about assuming? Makes an ass out
Kill
of you.
the cat.
A kingdom is ruled by a king or queen known as a ruler. A ruler is a unit with an individual attribute and a special ability. Each kingdom has 6 unique rulers. If a ruler is slain, its card is removed from the game, and another ruler is selected from the remaining ruler cards. If any player loses all their ruler cards, the game ends at the end of that season that they're currently in. Each ruler card is 2-sided. On one side is a king, on the other side is a queen. Each time you are required to select a new ruler, choose from the king or queen side of the card and place your ruler miniature, king or queen, as appropriate in the area you control. So then we do have ruler cards. If you want to go over yours real quick here. So on the top, we have the name of the ruler. Then to the left here, the type of dice the ruler uses in battle, which is on the left-hand side. Yep, perfect.
So in this case, mine are the orange dice.
Then you have down in the middle, on the bottom of that circle, the amount of health that the ruler has. Then continuing around there, you have the number of movement points the ruler has. And then at the very bottom, you have the special ability of the ruler.
Yep.
Okay.
So each one's a little bit different in terms of what dice they have, movement, and effects.
So now we're going to touch on units. Each player controls all of the land and sea units of their given color. Green for East Anglia, blue for Mercia, yellow for Northumbria, and red for Wessex. Neutral units are white, and the Dane units are black.
Yep.
Each unit has the following stats. A value, the gold between 1 and 5 required to recruit kingdom units or bribe neutral and Dane units. There's a movement value, the unit's movement points between 1 and 3. There is health, the number of wounds between 1 and 3 that a unit can receive before a land unit is slain or a sea unit is destroyed. And the battle dice, the color of battle dice used by the unit, white, beige, or red.
Yep. All very nicely laid out on the player aid.
That's miraculous. Okay.
That's how it should be done.
And then one more section for me, and then gameplay is all you.
Cool.
So it does have here for you. Where we at?
Back to.
Where'd it come in?
Oh, there you go.
No. Boom. There he is. So here it goes over a bunch of the different units. So the Vikings, which are the Danes, the Orkara, Bishop, which is looks like the GameFound exclusive specifically is the Bishop.
Yes.
Ship, Quarrel, King, Queen, Elderman, and then over here it's going over just the rest of the land units here. So the rulers, so kings and queens, movement, health, battle dice per ruler. What movement, health, and battle dice as per ruler card. So the ruler cards determine them. So the Elderman, so essentially just going over what the reference card goes over, everything. So then we have here text on cards and tiles. When the text on the card says something that contradicts a rule book, the text on the card tile takes precedence. Where the text on the card or tile does not say you must do something, the effect is always optional. So that's good for you to know.
May everywhere, except
unless it says must, it's always an option on the card or tile specifically. Now we get into gameplay.
All right. So Bretwalda has a maximum of 12 rounds. Each round consists of 3 phases. So that's our nice track down here. And the phases are listed on our player aid. We have the season phase, we have the action phase, and we have the priority phase. After a phase is completed, you proceed to the next phase. After the end of the priority phase, you then begin a new round. Season phase. In the season phase, you will resolve a season card and the specific seasonal impact. At the beginning of this phase, so tribute, it says, at the beginning of this phase, the Pretender may take 1 gold as tribute from an opponent. Then, the top card of the season deck corresponding to the current round is revealed. So, if you want, as the Pretender, to take gold, you have to do it before seeing what this card is.
So revealed. This one says, Spring Labors Development. Place +1 building for free.
Okay.
Cool.
So it does say here, top card of the season deck is revealed. Place it on top of that deck. It remains there until next winter, at which point all season cards are set. So winter is the last of that set of seasons, so then you would remove those 4 and go on to the next set. And it is very clear on this game board. Seasons numbered 1, 2 through 12, and then the symbol match perfectly. Card effects. So as you can see here, pretty straightforward. You have the name of the card. You have information on the units here. So some of these might have unit information, as well as number 2. That doesn't say number 2 here. Why?
What's it say?
Where's the number 2? It has a picture. It has 1, 2, and 3 on the picture, explaining this card, but it doesn't say what 1, 2, and 3 are. Huh. Well, that 2 is just say put on face up on top of the deck. Oh, it's just saying flip this card face up and put it right there. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was explaining the card. It's not.
Oh, no.
I'll just not. Each card has effects that can impact subsequent action phases. Just read the card, it'll tell you what to do. In addition to the season card effect, each season has a specific impact, as explained below. At any time during the game, you may inspect the season card that has been put aside. Next is the action phase. So in the action phase, you take 2 actions for your turn. This is the core of the game. Starting with the Pretender, each player in the direction of play, so based on the Pretender, either clockwise or counterclockwise, takes 1 action. You mark this action on your player board in the 1 space next to your ruler.
Oh, these colors correspond
to the 4 actions.
I was like, why don't they match our symbols? New Gaming 2 are the same.
Cool.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. I thought these were.
I thought they were
because they're the same colors as the player token.
Yeah.
So I thought.
So you pick an action. You have 4 actions available to start. You place it on the 1. On the 1. Yeah. To say that is your first action.
I meant the one you're doing.
No, that is the one you're doing, not the one. The eye. Place it there. Then each player in turn order will then take a second action, placing that marker on the 2. You must take an action on your turn, but you do not have to resolve the action. So, for example, in the movement action, you can claim to do the movement action, but not move. When all players have taken 2 actions, the action phase is over. All action markers are then removed from the board. Finally, you have the priority phase. If any player has 7 Daleks, the game ends, and that player is proclaimed the Bretwalda, because that is the end of a round, end of a season. In the priority phase, you determine the Pretender for the next round. The Pretender for the next round is as follows, and this is on your player aid, which is very nice. It goes by number of Daleks first, if tied, controlled land areas, then controlled capitals, controlled areas with cities, food in areas they control, and then gold in their supply. If, by some miracle, you have tied 6 different ways, the person who was Pretender stays Pretender. That would be crazy. Yeah. And it gives an example of that. The Pretender, again, then determines the direction of play by placing the Pretender marker on his clockwise or anti-clockwise. Ooh, hate that so much. But this is Britain.
What's funny is they've been saying counterclockwise the entire time.
They?
That's the first anti-clockwise.
Oh, man, that freaks me out.
Unless my brain's been auto-correcting. But I'm pretty sure they've been saying counter. If you look at the last page where it said Pretender.
Yeah, I'm going to check just for the fun of it. Pretender. Nope, it said anti.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's what my brain, saw counter. That's amazing.
So that is if you have the token. So if you have the token, there's a black side and a white side. White side's clockwise, black side's counterclockwise. This one, you would just point the person that way or point it this way. Make it easy.
Yep.
Because which way is it going? If there is no end of season game winner,
But Betcher's looking at it though.
move. No, it doesn't. That way means clockwise. That way means counter. That does not matter who looking at that. That's just logic. If there is no end of season game winner, move the round marker on round track 1 position to the right towards the 12, proceeding to the next season. All right, this goes over all of the season effects.
Season ethics.
Which is, there's a lot.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
All right.
Like 2.5, 3 pages of season effects.
Oh, that's a quick read. All right. So, first up, we have the Spring Sowing. In spring, you may exchange a Chronicle card in your hand with one from the deck. So at the start of spring, except for the first spring, you may draw 1 Chronicle card from the deck, then discard 1 Chronicle card from your hand to the bottom of the draw deck. So, every spring except for the first one, you can exchange a Chronicle card. In the summer... Huh?
It's annoying that that's not on here anywhere. It said spring sowing, and that's not one of the specific spring cards.
No. Every spring, though, you can do it.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah. It's got to be somewhere.
Yep, it's right there. So it's right above spring on the board. Let's see if we can make this work. Oh, perfect. Right here, it has a little thing, and it has a picture of a Chronicle card, and it has the swap symbol. Then each other season has the appropriate marker.
So for summer, the Danes raid. In summer, you bid to influence where the Danes will land and pillage. After the summer card is revealed, there is a bid for influence. The winner is the player who bids the most gold. That player decides where the Danes will raid. Each bid consists of the following steps. Claim ally markers. Then bid for influence. Then raid, and then pillage. And so it goes into these steps more in depth here. So number 1, claim ally markers. So prior to the bid, take ally markers from the supply equal to the difference on the victory track between your kingdom marker and the pretender's kingdom marker. Each marker is worth 1 gold. So, if I'm the pretender and I'm at 3, you would take 3.
Yep.
So each of those is worth 1 gold. You can only influence them from the summer bid for influence, and separately for the autumn bribe steps. They are discarded after each season, so markers obtained in the summer cannot be used in autumn. Then he gave the example, which we essentially just did right there, where if I was a pretender to 3 and he had 0, he would take 3. So you can only use them in the summer bid for influence, and you can use them separately in the autumn prize. Okay, so I'll go over autumn in a sec. All right, so the next step, running the bid for influence. In the direction of play, declare the amount of gold, including from ally markers, you have. So it's not secret at that point in time, so we have to say, I have 5 gold and 2 ally markers. And you would tell me your gold and
I
ally
have 4
markers.
gold and 3 ally markers.
Then secretly choose any amount and place it in a clenched hand over the board. When everyone is ready, simultaneously reveal the amount. If you bid the highest amount, you win. In the case of a tie, pretender decides who wins. So if I tied as the pretender with somebody else, I could decide I win.
Not if you tie with the leader, not somebody else.
No, like if the leader's the tie.
Yeah, you're like, if I tie with somebody else. If you tie for second, it don't matter.
I meant if
I know,
I tie.
I'm just clarifying.
Piece of shit.
If the pretender ties with the leader, not with some other player.
You then discard the supply to display any gold you used to bid, even if you did not win, and all ally markers. The winner then performs the raid. Now we go to the raid. Draw Dane cards equal to the amount of gold you bid plus 1. So how many gold did you bid?
3.
So you'd get 4. We'll say you won.
Okay, got it.
So you go to gold plus 1. Select one of those cards. Place 1 Drakar in the sea adjacent to the Danes' landing area on the selected cards. That'll be one of their black boats.
Yep, so we have 4 cards here. Some of them are very nicely clarified by color scheme. So these 2 very specifically I know that are in the yellow kingdom, which is mine. These 2 are in generic kingdoms. So I would then look around the board and be like, Where is this territory? Then I'm going to go and put it into this one.
So then
I'm an idiot.
Uh-huh.
There's a picture at the top that shows exactly where on the board these territories are.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
I was looking at the word. I love this way better. I don't need the words. Just give me the picture.
Yep. So then you would place a Drakkar in the sea adjacent to the landing area. So the black boat, if you want to grab one of those and place it in your chosen sea space.
Okay. Chosen sea space off of the coast. Boom. So that goes back here. So I have chosen this area to be my Dane lander. So boom. We're going to put the boat right there.
If removed. Huh.
What?
So at the top of the card, it gives you the sea and land areas where the raid occurs, like a picture.
Yep.
Then below that, the name of the land area where the raid occurs. And then number 3, it says there's a signifier for if it's removed in a 2 or 3 player game.
These do not have signifiers.
I believe
There's signifiers up top, but these are all the same.
they'll probably tell us. So they all have the different colors except for this. Well, so that's not part of a region. I wonder if you remove the colors of the player who's not playing. Most likely.
Possibly.
So there's a color for each kingdom.
Oh, that's
On them, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're not playing, I assume remove it. It'll probably tell us it'll tell us in the 2-player section when we get to it. So we're not going to worry about it right now. All right. So the kingdom ship present. If there is a kingdom ship in that sea space, even if it belongs to the winner of the bid, a battle occurs.
There is not.
If the Drakkar loses the battle, but is not destroyed, retreat it to an empty adjacent sea space. So if it lost the battle, it would go to an adjacent one if it wasn't destroyed. If the Drakkar wins the battle, it remains where it is. In either case, place Vikings equal to the amount shown on the summer card next to the Drakkar.
Summer card. Oh, summer card.
It's spring. No, that's summer. Sorry.
Summer?
Yeah, summer.
So yeah, so on the summer card here, it shows 2 units. So it shows 1 ship, Danes arrive, 2 units, and it shows you what type of units that they have.
Mm-hmm. There we go. So, okay. So you're going to place them next to the Drakkar. The Vikings do not land this season. So it says you're placing it next to the Drakkar, next to their boat.
Oh, just in the water?
Yeah.
Cool.
Showing that they're coming. Showing that they're coming.
Yeah.
The Vikings do not land this season, but may be moved on or disembarked by any player as part of a subsequent autumn movement.
Ah, okay.
If the Drakkar is destroyed in battle, or if it loses and retreats, and retreat isn't possible, remove it from the board. No Vikings land. So destroyed or can't go anywhere, they don't come to play. No kingdom ship present. If there's no kingdom ship present in the sea area, Vikings are placed equal to the amount shown in the summer card in the area shown on the Danes card, and resolve as follows. If there are no land units other than Vikings in that area, they pillage. Oh, so if there's no ships.
So if there's no ships, they didn't get into battles, they're able to come to land.
Yeah, so if there's no kingdom ships in the sea area, place Vikings equal to the amount shown on the summer card in the area shown on the Danes card, got it, and resolve as follows. If there are no land units other than Vikings in that area, they will pillage, which we'll go over in a moment.
Yes.
If they are land units other than Vikings, a battle occurs. If the Vikings lose, they retreat to the Drakkar they landed from, ending the raid. Place the surviving Vikings next to the Drakkar. They are considered embarked on and may be moved in during the autumn as previously with the ship battle. If the Vikings win, they remain in the area and pillage. Remove any control markers from that area. Then discard all drawn cards to the bottom of the Danes card deck. Come here, buddy. Boop. In rare cases, they may be no Vikings in the supply to place. In this case, skip placing Vikings on the board. So, just a summary real quick. When they come in, if there's a ship in the sea space where they're at, a battle ensues. If they are not destroyed, they will retreat, and then you'll place the Vikings next to their boat. If they're destroyed or they can't retreat, they're moved off the board. If there's no ship in that space when they come, they immediately go to the spot designated on their card. If it's open, they immediately pillage. If it's not open, they get into a fight. And if they win, they pillage. If they lose, any remaining Vikings go back to the ship. Boom, boom. Pillaging. Danes look to sustain themselves and grow rich through pillage of nearby areas. To reflect this, they place pillage markers in all land areas adjacent to, not in, any area containing newly placed Vikings. These markers remain until the Vikings move or are slain. You may not perform a collection action in any area containing a pillage marker. Crazy. So those areas all around them, you could not do the collection action in.
Are we considering an island adjacent to nothing? Although it's adjacent to the boat?
I don't think so. Because it's adjacent to the Vikings, not to...
Oh, not to the boat. Okay.
The boat, yeah. I believe it says... Yeah, newly placed Vikings.
Okay.
They're pillaging. If you want the Danes to play more active, independent role in the game, use the Independent Danes rule on page 29. If you prefer more aggressive style of game, granting players greater control over the movement of Dane units, use the optional Puppet Danes rule on 29 as well, which we'll go over. And or if you want a powerful one-off effects introduced into the game during the summer season, use the Subversion Cards, which are a different set of these that have like the red on them, I believe.
Yes, they are.
Yep. So those are covered on page 30,
Yeah,
so we'll get to
these
those
are just different
in a moment.
cards for the Dane deck.
Yep. They give an example, which we're not going to read because we essentially just did that live. Do you want to do...
You got one more piece, right?
we got
Before you
autumn
get to
and
action?
winter, then actions. Yep,
Yeah.
cool. All right. So in autumn, you bribe neutrals and Danes. In autumn, players may pay a bribe to move neutral and Dane units.
Boom.
Shows there, perfect. Repeat the claim ally markers step as per the summer. Then, in reverse direction of play, ending with the pretender, you may either pass or pay gold and ally markers to bribe one or more neutral or Dane units in a single area to move them to any area up to their movement range. So, if we were going counterclockwise this round, then you would start, because it says opposite of the play direction. So, start with you and come back to me.
Sure. If we're going clockwise, so start with me, come back to you.
Nope. If we're going, well, if we're doing two.
Yeah,
We're talking about a four-player game, you piece of shit.
I'm like, this is the same.
Son of a bitch. Such a turd. And then you can only bribe units from a single area.
Yep.
Bribed units do not have to end their movement in the same area. Note that unlike corals for the player kingdoms, neutral corals can move like other units. After all players have either passed or made a bribe, the process begins again among the players that did not pass and continues until all players have passed. So you literally just go around bribing units and moving them until everyone's passed because they don't want to spend any more of their shit. The cost of bribing a unit is equal to its value. So the littlest guy is 1, the ships are 3, the middleman is 3, the Viking is 3, and the horseman is 5. Those are the technical names.
And yeah, that's all on the player aid as well. You just go to the cost column and it tells you very directly what the cost is. So bribing cost and cost to bring your own units out are the same.
And again, when you start this, you collect your ally tokens, which again count as 1 gold to help you for bribing. So, the movement of a bribed unit follows the standard movement rules set out on page 19 with the following exceptions. If a land unit has been moved, it cannot be moved again. We recommend that when you move it, put it on sign as a reminder. So turn it down. So once one person moves them, no one else can choose to move that same unit.
So,
Yep. Drakars may move multiple times. I do not put them on their side. So the boats can move multiple times. The Viking boats. You may not move neutral or Dane units into an area containing your own units, so you can't commit suicide, potentially. Oh, you also can't... Actually, I could set you up if one of the objectives is to like win a battle, you can't purposely initiate it.
yeah.
That way. Makes sense. All neutral units on the board are treated as one faction. This means that if a neutral unit moves to an area with another neutral unit, no battle occurs. All Dane units on the board, similarly, are treated as the same faction. Duh. If Danes and neutral units are in the same space, a battle will occur. So you can stick the enemies on each other. That's great. 1 or more bribed Vikings may be moved onto a Drakkar in an adjacent sea area as part of the same step, moved by the Drakkar. When you move a Viking into a Drakkar, use the sea transport rules, which is on page 20. So you can put them back on the boat. At the end of a unit's movement, resolve a battle immediately. If Danes or neutral units are in an area within an opposing unit, then do this. If they're in an area without a kingdom's unit, including after a battle, remove any control markers and destroy any buildings, food, or ships in harbor in that area. So if Dane or neutral move in an area and no one's guarding it, they just break everything. Place pillage markers so that they are adjacent to the new location of Vikings, and remove them from the area where they are no longer adjacent. So
if we move these guys over to here, this marker would come off, that one stays on, and that one goes there.
Yep.
And now they're going to go after Gwent.
And they give you an example as well. Is it called Gwent?
Yeah.
I play a card game there. Nice. If you want to bid to determine order of control of Danes or neutral units, use the autumn bid for influence rules on page 30, which we'll get to when we get there. It seems like there's a bunch of like additional varying things you can throw in, which is nice. Right, then lastly we have the winter, feeding the army. In winter, so you flip your card, and then here shows the food symbol crossed out because you got to pay it. So in winter there is no food collection, so you cannot do the collection action for food.
Everything is frozen.
Each player must feed their units. During the winter season, you cannot collect food through the collection action. When the winter card is revealed, you must apply the penalty effect on the card and discard the indicated amount of food. And then each non-ruler land unit must consume 1 food. It is not necessary for the unit to be in the same area as the food. You may spend food from any area you control to meet the requirement, or you may receive/buy food from other players. If you do not have sufficient food, remove non-ruler land units from the board to your supply. 1 unit of any type per each missing food. That's coming to you for actions. Yep. And so this winter penalty says harsh winter. Remove 2 food, then feed your units. The Fyrd is +1 money to cost to recruit or upgrade each unit. And then it just reiterates that no food may be collected. I assume each of them probably says no food may be collected. Yes. Oof, remove 3. All land movement cost +1. Oof.
Makes sense that winter's harder to get through.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
So we now have 4 action types that players can work on. Again, you only get 2 actions per round, but there's 4 options you can choose from. Mm-hmm. So number 1 is using the green action marker, the little gear. No. Oh, sure. We'll do that. Yeah, the little gear symbol. This is the development action. So the development action allows you to place kingdom tiles and place buildings. Kingdom tiles, those are your stack of tiles. When you perform a development action, you may place a single kingdom tile onto your kingdom board. Kingdom tiles take effect immediately upon being placed. There are 4 types: green development, yellow collection, blue feared, red movement. Each kingdom can have a max of 2 of each type. You have 4 of each one available, but you can only place 2 of them. Buildings. When you perform a development action, you may also pay 3 gold and place 1 available building from the general supply into an area you control. Each building has a restriction on it. This is also, right on the paper there, which we'll go over those 4 building types in a moment. Additionally, there's a limit of 1 building per area, with the exception of your capital, where you can place 2. However, you cannot place 2 of the same type. You may only purchase 1 building per development action. Additionally, you may discard lordship cards to generate extra gold to spend on building. So again, those lordship cards on the bottom have a little 1 in the bottom left. You can use that as a spend to help cover the cost of your building. What are the buildings? First, we have the Abbey. The Abbey's requirement may only be placed in a courtside area. Nope.
Countryside.
Countryside area.
Which is going to be the areas listed in brown.
Yes. So, countryside area. The effect of the Abbey. When you perform a collection action in an area with an Abbey, gain +1 gold. So even if that area does not generate gold. So if it generates food, for example, like, let's just say this. This is a perfect example. This one generates 1 food. You would get 1 food, and now you would also get 1 gold.
Nice.
If you control 3 or more abbeys, you gain 1 Dalk. That, on your player board, is very specifically that Dalk marker there.
Mm-hmm.
Exception. Northumbria gains 1 Dalk for controlling 3 to 5 abbeys, and they'll gain 2 Dalk for controlling 6+ abbeys. So if you're playing as the Northumbria faction, you can gain 2 Dalks.
That's you just hitting the bottom of your board?
Yes, it does.
Perfect.
So you gain 2 Dalks specifically for getting 6 or more abbeys, only if you're Northumbria. Next up, we have the granary. The granary requirement may only be placed somewhere where there's food, because granaries hold food. The effect, when you perform a collection action, gain 1 extra food. Very straightforward. Ports. Ports may be placed where there is a harbor. The effect, at any point during your second action or any season phase, you may exchange food or gold with the general supply at a rate for 1 to 2. So you can trade, or 1 to 2 food to gold. So you can trade 1 food for 2 gold, or you can trade 2 gold for 1 food. You can do this once per phase for each port you control. Place any food marker acquired in this way in the area with the port. So, good ability. If you need to get food towards the end, boom, boom, you can do this action. And then finally, you have the Mead Hall. May be placed in any city. The effect, during the feared action, draw a lordship card for free for each Mead Hall you control. You may then purchase any number of lordship cards additionally for 2 gold each.
Cool.
So, very straightforward. Each one has its own actions. They are all on your player aid here, which is very nice. In bright red, it says where they can go and how they're placed out. Then underneath, it says exactly what it does.
And what's nice, too, so we have, of course, the miniatures, but in the base version, these are the exact colors of those tokens as well, which is really nice. Just a side note, I like that there's a building for gold, a building for food, a building where you can exchange, and then 1 to get cards. That's nice.
Yeah. Covers all the bases.
I like that there's also requirements where you can put them.
Yes. Collection action. So this is now your yellowish little marker that would then go down there. For the collection action, you're going to collect food and gold harvest. Nope. You're going to collect gold and harvest food.
Wow.
I don't know how I became dyslexic right there. Wow.
It's a lot of reading.
Collect gold and food from areas you control that contain 1 or more of your land units and contain no pillage units. So you cannot be next to Vikings. Do this by taking gold equal to the sum of the number of gold symbols in the areas and then add them to your supply. Then place 1 food marker on each area containing a food symbol. Remember to factor in the effect of any abilities, buildings, or other types of bonuses that you may have. In addition, if you collect food during a collection action, example, a card effect, always place that food in areas where you would collect food.
So right here, I just put it right there in that same area.
Yep.
And I took 2 gold, because there's the 2 there for gold.
Perfect. The feared action. The feared action is the blue soldiers. Little marker up top there.
Yep. Okay.
Boom. The feared action allows you to recruit or upgrade land units in a city and ships in a harbor. So recruiting, you may place a recruited land unit in a single city you control. You may also place a recruited ship in a harbor you control, or in a sea adjacent to a harbor you control.
So that's placing in the harbor. I mean, yep.
Yep.
And this is placing the sea adjacent to the harbor.
Yep. You may not place a ship in a sea area if it contains another opposing ship or a Drakkar. Pay the recruited unit's value in gold to the supply. Again, that is on your player aid how much they cost, 1, 3, or 5. You may upgrading. You may upgrade a land unit in a single city you control. To do so, swap a Kroll for a Thang, or a Thang for an Alderman. So, the Kroll are the smallest units. They have the shield at their ankles. The Thang are the medium units, shield at their chest. The Alderman, you only have 1 of. That is the guy on horseback.
And it's all on here as well. Because there's some GameFound exclusive stuff on here, it does cover the Hunter and the Bishop, which I assume would be the upgrade between them, which is why they have them that way. But for the base, the Kroll upgrades to the Thang upgrades to the Alderman.
Yep. And it says, pay 2 gold to the general supply to do that upgrade. It does not say, unless we'll get to it, that you can upgrade a Kroll directly to an Alderman. So you might have to do the upgrade action twice to be able to do that.
I mean, that makes sense.
So it says you may discard Lordship cards to generate extra gold. Again, similar to what we just discussed. Those have a value of 1. When taking the feared action, you may only recruit or upgrade 1 land unit in a single city. If that city is your capital, you may recruit or upgrade up to 2 land units. You may not upgrade the same unit twice. There it is. Nice. So if there's a harbor within the area where you're recruiting units, you may also recruit a ship in addition to your land units. The number of units is limited. If you wish to recruit a unit and you do not have it, you may remove a unit from the game and place it in the supply for the purpose of recruiting. So you can just yeet a unit off somewhere else and then bring it back for this.
We have to pay to bring it back.
Oh, of course, you still have to pay for the upgrade, but you can just get rid of it. Note, you may only remove units from the map this way if you have no matching units in the supply. You may not do this instead of taking them for the supply. Yeah, I would do that. You're like, I don't want them over there anymore. I'm going to bring them over here.
And then here it does cover all that information as well. So it says cost of 2. Creole goes to the Thane or the Hunter, it says, depending on if you have Hunter. And then it goes to the Elderman. And then down here it tells you your limitations for the recruit house upgrade. So a city that's not your capital, you can do 1 land unit. If it is your capital, you can do up to 2. And then, of course, the harbor is your ship.
Yep. And then this clarifies yet again, if you control at least 1 mead hall, after you have finished recruiting or upgrading, draw a lordship card for free, and then buy for an additional 2 gold any number. So you can buy as many as you want, 2 gold each, on top of that first one for free. And then finally, we have the red token, which is movement. The movement action allows you to move, and then battle with opposing units. With a movement action, you may move your land units and your ships. Krolls may not move unless you have developed the Kroll Leader's Kingdom tile. Okay?
That's what I was looking for. So there's a tile here.
Yep, so that is the smallest unit. So it's saying the smallest unit cannot move at all unless you have that tile unlocked, which I kind of like. Mm-hmm. That some units can't go off on their own. You need to wait for the army to help them. It also says that each unit moves individually. So if you had 2 units in the same space, you would move one, then move the other. All units have movement points. The cost of movement varies depending on the type of border that it must be crossed. So, and this is also at the bottom of the back of your card or your player aid. So it's saying if you're going over a Roman road, so a normal road, it costs 1. If you're going over the wilderness, it costs 2. If you're going through the wetlands, you cannot pass via land. So some examples of that.
So we got skinny.
So skinny is 1.
So here to here would be 1. That'd be 2.
Yep.
Wetlands.
Wetlands would be, for example,
right here. Yep.
Right over here. So these are wetlands because you have that thick outer border that you cannot pass through. So you cannot jump from here to here across the waterway.
Oh, here's a good one because that's kind of obvious. So right here it has that red line.
Yeah.
So you can't go from here to here.
You have to go
at
around.
all. You have to go here to then come over.
Yep. In the sea, via a sea border, so from one sea section to the next, it costs 1 movement. If you are in a harbor trying to go to the sea, or in the sea trying to go to a harbor, it is free. So, very straightforward, easy to understand. If any of your land units enter an area that contains opposing units, they end their movement. After all units move that you want to move, resolve battles. So again, each unit moves independently, but after all movement is done is when battle takes place, not directly when you enter an area. If any of your land units end its movement in an area free of opposing units, or you win the battle, place a control marker down.
Goddamn.
Coin?
Yeah. You keep going. I'll find it.
Alright. If you take control of an area with buildings and or food markers, you may gain control of them or choose to destroy them. If you take control of a land area with an opposing ship in a harbor, you may convert that ship to your own ship or destroy the ship. So if there's anything there without protection, you can choose to take it over or destroy it.
So, like, if I was here and there's no...
Harbor.
Huh?
So if you were in this harbor and I came in...
And there's no units there.
And I came in, I can either destroy your ship or flip your ship to my ship, and then you get the ship back and my ship goes down. If you had food or control markers here, I can do the same thing. I can just take the food, take the gold, destroy the control marker, and place my own down.
Nice.
Right. Which is very much similar to successors a little bit. Additionally, a unit may not be moved twice as part of the same action by playing a relevant lordship card, unless the card states otherwise. So you can't do your full movement and then have a card that gives you movement and do it again unless it very specifically allows you to.
So similar rules to the Vikings and the neutrals is you can only move them once.
Yeah.
And then you're done unless you have a card that says move them a second time.
Yeah, like a second movement action. All right. Sea transport. It is possible to embark land units onto your ships and move them by sea to other sea and land areas. To do so, your land unit must be in an area adjacent to a sea that contains one or more of your ships. Nope, just one of your ships because you can't have more there. To embark a land unit on a ship, the land unit must spend all its remaining movement points. Each ship may have 4 land units. So as long as you have at least 1 movement point available, you can hop onto the ship. You may then, as part of the same movement, move the ship to a new sea area or leave it in the same sea. Then, as part of the same movement action, disembark the land units on the ship to one or more adjacent land areas. For each land area where you disembark, you pay 1 of the ship's movement points. So, for example here, if I have my ship out here, I had a unit enter in here, I can then bring my unit onto the ship. I have now used all my individual guys' movement. God damn. I can then take this ship with him, move him over here, and drop him off.
Which would be 2 movement points.
And that would be 1 movement point for the ship here, 1 movement point on the ship to extradite him, to deport him over to this island.
And those are specifically the ship movement points. So
Yes.
our ships have 2 movement points. The Drakkar, the Vikings, the Danes have 3 movement points via the ship.
Alternately, you can just leave your land units on your ship. They can be moved as part of a new movement action in a different round. If you do so, place the units next to the ship on the water. So, again, very straightforward for the actions. And it's laid out on the player aid for each of them. And I like how movement, it's thin line, heavy line, colored line.
Well, what's nice too, so if you chose to lease, if I used all my movement points in one turn to move him on, then use the 2 movement points to go 1 and 2, and left him there because I can't move him right now. On the next turn, I could do 1 ship movement point, and now he has all of his movement points left over to go.
He does.
Right back home.
And just a quick journey around the world.
That's cool.
All right, and then again, before you read that, at any point after all of that movement is done for all of your units, then you trigger battle. So it is possible. I'll give a quick example here on the board. Let's say that I had... So let's say this is my example. That I have 2 units over there, I have 2 units here, and this is the example. Okay, I can move these 1, 2 independently into here. I can finish this movement onto the ship, move 1, and bring these 2 off into this area. Now battle happens with all 4 units.
It's after movement is completely done.
After all movement of all units, it says.
Nice.
So it's not, because each movement has to move independently.
Makes sense.
So you got to wait to the very end, and now we'll be in this scenario and trigger a battle.
All right, it's time for battle. Whenever opposing units are in an area, a battle ensues. The units that move to the area are the attackers. Opposing units that were already in the area are the defenders. So, piss yellow are attackers, and
I
ivory
think
white.
that is Midas Gold.
Ivory white are the defenders.
That is King Midas Gold right there.
Beeswax, earwax yellow, mustard yellow, mustard.
Dijon yellow.
A land battle lasts a maximum of 2 battle rounds. It follows this battle sequence. Step 1, play lordship cards. That say before, during, or after the battle. Step 2, roll battle dice. Step 3, play lordship cards for the king effect. Step 4, assign wounds. Step 5, declare retreats. Step 6, determine winner. If no winner, repeat from step 1 for 1 more round. And step 7, draw a lordship card. All right, in depth on step 1. Play lordship cards. The outcome of the battle can be influenced by playing lordship cards. These can be played either before, during, or after battle. The text on the card will always say when. Note, this is in addition to playing other lordship cards for their For the King effect as discussed in the step 3 below.
Is this literally the purpose of this?
Yeah. So, well, to hold your cards, yeah. So you don't have to hold them in your hand.
Nah.
I didn't order them. They literally just sent
Yeah,
them. It's hilarious. Then before applies prior to the roll of battle dice, which is step 1. In the first battle round, during applies to the relevant point during the battle, so between steps 1 and 3. After applies to after determining the winner, so step 6. So before dice, in the middle, or after the battle is finished, you determine the winner. In each of the 3 periods, before, during, or after, the attacker may play a relevant lordship card, after which the defender may do the same. This alternates until both players consecutively pass. All played lordship cards are placed in the discard pile. So you can play more than one before lordship card, and more than one during, and more than one after. So roll battle dice. At the start of each battle round, roll 1 die of the color relevant for each unit in the battle. If you are the defending city, or if you are defending a city, roll 1 additional gray die. If you are defending your capital, roll 2 additional gray dice.
And that is also very nicely set on this player aid at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom right. No, same side.
Same
bottom
side?
right.
Oh yeah, nice. Perfect. The attacker and defender roll their dice simultaneously. There's an asterisk here. It says if you have a bishop unit in the battle, after rolling the dice but before playing lordship cards for the king effect, you may re-roll any number of your dice once. So the bishop lets you re-roll. That's cool. I need that. The type of dice and outcomes of the battle. So white's the weakest, beige is the middle, red is the strongest, and gray is purely defense. The symbol on the dice represents, so the sword, opposing unit takes 1 wound, shield, your units block 1 wound. Flip. Some game effects contain the word flip. This allows you to flip a rolled die to its opposite side. Pretty straightforward. Then step 3, play lordship cards for the king effect, which is the sword in the bottom right corner of those lordship cards. The attacker plays all lordship cards they wish to for this effect, followed by the defender. For each card played, add 1 sword to your total. So that's different than when you're playing your lordship cards for the effects normally. You go back and forth. In this, the attacker plays every single one they want to play, then the defender plays theirs.
Yep.
No more can be played after that. After lordship cards are placed in the discard pile, and after signing wounds. The maximum number of cards you can play is equal to the number of units you have participating in battle. So if you have 4 lordship cards, you have 2 units fighting, you only play 2 lordship cards. For the king effect, at least. Assign wounds is the next step. After both players have played the lordship cards for the king effect, total the number of swords on your dice and on the lordship cards, then subtract 1 from the total for each shield on your opponent's dice. The total number, or the total amount left, is the number of wounds that your opponent must assign to their units in this battle. When a unit has received wounds equal to its health, it is slain and placed back into the supply. Wounds persist between the first and second battle rounds. Wound markers are assigned to units to track this. The markers are removed at the end of the battle. We do have wound markers down here as well.
Little blood drops.
And grab them. come heal you.
Boom, boom. Little blood drops. I thought they were squishy. That would have been sick.
Right. When assigning wounds, you must assign wounds to a unit that is already wounded until it's slain, before assigning wounds to another unit. And wounds must be assigned so that all units of one type are slain before units are applied to the next type of unit.
Okay.
Priority order for assigning wounds is the hierarchy. So weakest to strongest.
Okay, bottom up.
So Kjorls, Thanes, Bishops, Eldermen, Ruler.
Okay.
Designer note: effectively, the ruler is considered to be the rear during the battle, and so the last unit to be targeted.
All right. So quick example here.
Go for it.
Oh wait, do you have more steps of battle?
There is there's still a couple more, but you can go over the dealing damage.
Okay. So quick example here. Again, so this scenario, there are 2 Krolls, so those are the white dice, 2 of the Thangs, which are the tan dice. On the other side, you have 1 Alderman who rolls a red, 1 Kroll who rolls a white. So if this was the outcome, I rolled 1 attack, 2 defense, and a blank. They rolled 2 attacks and a blank. Did it say damage always goes both ways? It doesn't cancel out?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this scenario, if this would be the final result, I would deal 1 damage to them, they would deal 2 damage to me, but I block both of those damages.
Yep.
But I have a card. So I play my Lordship card. Anytime after a dice roll, choose the face of one of the rolled dice. So I can go on here and pick this. So now I still block both of the hits, so that gets eliminated, and I deal 3 damage onto the opponent. 1 damage would get dealt here. He is now gone. 2 damage would get dealt to the Alderman out of his 3. And then this card, it says, would be discarded.
Yep. So if your ruler is slain, the current ruler card is removed from the game. If this does not cause the player elimination game end condition, choose another ruler card at the start of the next season. Prior to the season card being revealed, that is, and place your selected ruler from that card, king or queen, in any area you control. Design note: we recommend placing a slain ruler on top of or next to the next season's card to remind you that you have to place it on before the next season card is revealed. So what it's saying is, once your ruler is slain, to take your new ruler card and place them down as like a reminder that before you reveal that, you have to put them out. All right. Next, declare retreats. At the end of the first battle round, the attacker may declare a retreat. If the attacker does not retreat, the defender may then declare a retreat. After the second battle round, the loser must always retreat.
Oh.
If
it's probably going to answer the question, so I'll wait.
If the attacker retreats, move all your units back to the area they entered from. If your units moved into battle from more than one area, all units must retreat to one of these areas. They may not be split up.
Okay.
In the unlikely event, the area of origin is now occupied by opposing units, retreat your units to an adjacent area you control. If no such area exists, the units must retreat to a ship in an adjacent sea. If that is not possible, the units are slain and must be removed from the board.
So they're just caught behind enemy lines.
So you have no way out, you're murdered. Defender retreats. Move all your units to an adjacent area you control. They may not be split up. If no such area exists, the units must retreat to an empty adjacent area without opposing units or control markers, or to a ship in adjacent sea. If that is not possible, the units are slain and must be removed from the board. Did that answer your question?
No. Are we assuming neutral are never retreating or always retreating?
It says defender, so
like who?
or attacker.
It would be unfair if another player's counted as the defender for that purpose. Like,
Well, no, so
to
I think-
give you the ability, that would be unfair. So it should be always one way or always the other.
Oh, no.
So for I'm assuming same thing for Vikings. It's like, would they never retreat because they're just always there, or would they always retreat after the first battle?
Doesn't say.
Maybe we'll find out later, but that's a good question.
That is a good question. Yeah, does not
Because
say.
it would definitely be 100% unfair for another player to make that decision.
Does not say. But yeah, but it would also be unfair for the attacking player to make that decision.
No, that's what I'm saying. It before the game, it should always be all one way or all the other way.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I would assume Like if you moved into attack, the other person's gonna roll for.
Well, you have to roll, yeah.
Because then, so I would be playing as them in that
Yes.
moment. So that if they had to retreat, I would choose where to retreat them.
I agree if they were to retreat, but that's
Right.
what I'm asking. Like, would
But then
based on the rules, would they ever retreat, or would they always retreat?
But then the thing comes in too with like, if the neutrals are fighting the Danes, who controls neutral? Who controls the Danes?
That's what I'm thinking. They would never retreat. They would always fight to the. They would always fight twice. Based on that.
Oh
like,
yeah, but at the end of the second one, if there's no winner, there's a retreat that always happens.
Yes.
So at the end of the second round, so I would assume that they would never retreat in one round. No.
Okay, that's my question. Yeah, so in between rounds 1 and 2, they would never retreat. You'd always play it out.
They would always fight to the death. Yeah.
That was the question.
Yeah. But there was the retreating thing still stands for after the second round if they didn't fully die.
Yes. Then whoever's rolling for them would get the choice. That's fine.
The winner is determined as follows. Determine the winner. If you are the only side with units remaining in the area, you win the battle.
That was
If
self-explanatory.
if both sides have units remaining after step 5 of the first battle, a second battle round is conducted. Yep. If at the end of the second battle round, both sides have units remaining, or neither side has units remaining in the contested area, the defender is the winner. Once a winner is determined, the loser must retreat any units that remain. Remove any wound markers.
So that clarifies our part of the question then. Okay. On who retreats for this battle here between them and neutrals.
Yes.
That would clarify what happens.
Yep. If the defender,
Good job, writing rule.
if the defender loses, and it's a player kingdom, remove the control marker. Place the control marker of the attacker. If it's a player's kingdom.
Yep. They just come off the board, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the defender loses and it is a player kingdom, remove its control marker. Place the control marker of the. Oh, I'm thinking. My mind's thinking capital.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a control marker. Remove it. Put your own down. Done. And then lastly, draw lordship cards. Once the battle is over, both sides draw one lordship card. If after the battle you draw a lordship card that may be played after a battle, you cannot use it for its effect on the battle that has just been resolved.
That makes sense because you didn't have it after the battle. You had it after the battle.
Try to see here if they have any. This might actually be an example with the neutrals.
No, I think it makes sense now.
Nope, that's not done for you. I was just wanting to make sure. Does not. Oh, Danes and neutral units in battle.
Huh.
Amazing. All right. Bada bada bing bing bing. Oh, Hadrian's Wall. That's on here.
That might be the big long
it's
territory.
this here.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
I'm assuming it's that big long one.
It's this one right here, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, that one. I was thinking of the other one.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's that one.
It's curved that way.
Yeah.
That's fun. So then this one goes somewhere.
We don't know when that goes out. There's just always out.
I know. I'm getting ready to read it.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why I just thought it was cool. You must go right there. Oh, those are fun. All right. Sorry. All right. Hadrian's Wall and Offa's Dyke. There are 2 fortifications on the board that add 1 gray die to the defenders in a battle. Hadrian's Wall and Offa's Dyke. Hadrian's Wall protects northern areas from the Picts. From the Pikes. Nope, Picts. P-I-C-T-S. Yeah. Offa's Dyke protects Mercia's western border from the Welsh. A defender on the south side of Hadrian's Wall or the east side of Offa's Dyke gains an extra gray die if they are attacked by units moving from the north of Hadrian's Wall or from the west of Offa's Dyke. So yes, those go out right away.
Across the wall, into the back areas.
So I wonder where these other ones go.
I don't know. If I get there.
I think they're just on the board somewhere like those ones were. Important. If units attack from multiple areas and any of those units attack through the wall or dike, the defender always gains the extra die. Cool. So which way is... Try to see which way... Oh, I think one goes right there probably, but... So this side's the protected side, and that side's the protected side.
Yeah, side close to the water.
Okay. So make sure. All right, so sea battles. A sea battle follows the same sequence as a land battle with the following variations. Sea units may retreat to an adjacent sea area that does not contain an opposing sea unit. Ships may retreat to a harbor in the same area, in the same sea area, if it's under a retreating player's control. Embarked land units do not affect the course of sea battle. If a sea unit is destroyed, the units in its transporting are slain as well.
Makes sense.
Ships in a harbor cannot be attacked. Although, remember, if they lose control of the land area with the ship in the harbor in that area, then they also lose the ship. So, if there's a battle that pursued here, so like if board came in here, I could retreat to my harbor because I control it.
Okay.
And you cannot attack me in the harbor.
No. I'd have to come in via land, attack your people.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
Oh, that's just the one.
That's all I can see, but maybe, I don't know.
All right, so Danes and neutral units in battle, to answer our question. If Danes or neutral units are in battle against a kingdom's units, follow the same rules as above, with the player clockwise to the participating player controlling the Danes or neutral units. The kingdom player may play lordship cards as normal during battle. The player controlling the Danes or neutral units may not play lordship cards and does not draw lordship cards at the end of battle.
That's good.
Good to know. If the battle involves Danes attacking neutral units or vice versa, do not follow the battle sequence set out above. Instead, the attacking player slays neutral units whose total value is less than or equal to the total value of the Danish units, and simultaneously slays Danish units using the same method. If multiple outcomes are possible, the attacking player determines which units from each side are slain. If units from both sides remain after the first battle round, the attacking unit must retreat to the area they came from. So, during an autumn, Nicole moves 2 Vikings to an area with 2 neutral Eldermen, and Kjorl, the 2 Danes have a total value of 6, 3 plus 3. Where does it show their value? Oh, the cost, okay. As do the Eldermen and the Kjorl, 5 plus 1. So all 4 units are slain. So do they have... I guess the neutral are the same as our units. Okay. So what it's saying is, it's looking at the value here, right? So these 2 guys there are worth 6. If he was here, if they moved in there, they're worth 6. He's only worth 5 per the value, so this one would be slain. So there is no remaining defender ever between neutral and Danes. There's always going to be somebody who dies. Oh no, sorry. If there are any remaining, it says here, both sides remain, then they both retreat. The attacking units must retreat back to the area they came from. So the defender will never retreat. So either the attacker kills everybody or the attacker retreats to the next area. All right, you ready for playing with 2 or 3 players?
Yep.
We're going to skip solitaire play.
Yes, we are.
But we will go to the optional rules.
Yes.
That are in the back. So I think you got both sections there.
Yeah. So for this, if you're watching this video, you're going to see a bunch of like little mini chapters. We'll do that for all these optional game modes.
Yep.
So that if you're like, hey, how does this specific thing, you can just click on that chapter after watching the main video for everything else. Then we'll have directly after that the 3 expansions.
Woohoo!
So playing with 2 or 3 players. In games of less than 4 players, there will be 1 or more unused kingdoms. These are called NPKs, non-player kingdoms. Just made that up, but that sounded good.
You did.
All non-player kingdom starting areas are out of play for the duration of the game. And there is an image on the next page, which is nice. No unit may enter these areas during play. Place the control markers of the non-player kingdoms on these areas as a reminder that these areas cannot be entered. Do not place Dowks indicated by a color of the NPK. For example, if Northumbria is out of play, do not place Dowks indicated by a yellow circle with a red X. During setup, remove all Dane cards from the Dane deck for those kingdoms.
Yep.
All right, so it does give a picture here. We'll just show that picture. Right there, it gives a whole picture on the red X's that would go down because those areas are not in play.
They're just removed. We don't put them down.
Those removed. So those just,
removed.
won't go down. So that's, again, based on the colors you are not using.
So we're not using, right now, we were not using green and blue. We remove all the ones there.
Yeah, so you would remove
I think
These.
it's specific on there. I don't think it's all in the same area, is it?
Oh, correct. It would be, yeah, specific ones. So we would follow the graphic, remove specific ones based on the colors not being used.
Yeah.
All right. So that is just set up for a 2 or 3 player game. So very consistent with everything else on how you play. You're just playing with 2 colors or 3 colors instead of all 4.
Yep.
Next, advanced setup. Advanced setup allows you to determine the position of the Daleks and neutral units as part of setup. This provides extended replayability and variety to each game. It is recommended for experienced players of the game. How to play. This rule has no impact on game mechanics, only changes setup. Setup changes. You place everything out. They cannot be placed in a capital, including a non-player capital. The combined value of units in any area cannot exceed 9. An alderman is 5, a thing is 3, a creole is 1. It's the same as their cost. So we get to place them out. I'm assuming we'd have all of these off to the side. We'd each be able to pick one and place them out, or even amount, however you want to split it up. You cannot have more than 9 in one spot, and nothing can go in opposing capitals.
Is it placing out the neutrals?
Yes.
Nice, that's fun. Okay, that makes setup a little bit more fun.
Yeah. For gameplay, same gameplay applies as with the normal mode.
Same gameplay.
In addition, you cannot bribe neutral and Dane units during autumn. So if you want to use advanced setup and put them out however you want, you do not get the ability to bribe them.
Okay, interesting.
So that must be the balance factor.
Okay, because you can't put them all near one person.
Exactly.
They're just there.
Which I like that. That's good balancing.
So they don't move. Where they come in, that's where they come in for the Danes. You have to go and fight them.
No, this is neutral units only.
They just said neutral and... Oh, it just said...
Oh, no, you cannot bribe either. Okay, so
yeah.
Placing out is just neutral, but you cannot bribe either.
Yes, the whole bribery phase is just non-existent for that.
Yes. No, hold on. Disregard what I just said.
What?
We'll cut that. Optional rules only is here. I read...
Wow, you're dumb.
I read columns. I thought that was logical.
That's fine. Just continue.
All right. Optional rules. Advanced setup. This rule allows you to determine the location of Daleks and neutral units as part of setup. For this advanced setup, there is no change to gameplay, only changes to setup. Place a Dalek on the designated space outlined by the haptum. So that is the haptum. Then each player takes 3 Daleks, 1 neutral alderman, 2 neutral thanes, and 2 neutral krolls. So you would get those assigned to you. Randomly determine the pretender. The pretender determines direction of play. Then starting with the pretender and following the direction of play, each player places all 3 of their Daleks in any land area, including capitals. There can only be 1 Dalek per area. Where possible, the Dalek should be placed in non-adjacent areas. So with an exception of the central area. So any Daleks can be placed next to, or adjacent to this. It is recommended that if you place a Dalek down here, that you do not place another one adjacent to it.
Got it. Makes sense.
Once all Daleks are placed, each player in direction of play places all neutral units in any land areas with these restrictions. You cannot place them into a capital. The combined value of the units cannot exceed 9 gold. So again, looking at the cost of the unit, cannot have more than 9 gold worth of cost in one area. After all Daleks and units have been placed, each player chooses their player kingdoms, starting with the pretender. So that's a very important distinction. You do not put any of your player things out until all of the neutrals are placed based on this setup. So that's kind of cool. So you can like set it up to screw someone, but then all of a sudden they take a different color and you're stuck with that color.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Worms almost.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Then set up the rest of the game as normal, play as normal. Next, independent Danes optional rule. This rule makes the movement of Danes independent and hence more unpredictable. How to play. You do not bid for influence in the summer. Instead, at the start of each summer season, refer to the summer season card to see how many Vikings will arrive. Then draw the top of the card of the Danes deck, place the Drakkar and Vikings in the area indicated by that card, resolving battles with neutral or kingdom units. At the start of each following season except the winter, the pretender draws the top card from the Danes deck, and moves a Drakkar and any Vikings in land areas adjacent to the Drakkar to the new area indicated by the Danes card. Okay. So that top card is going to control everything.
So wait, so how does it do it again? Sorry.
So draw the top card of that deck.
Did that.
Place the Drakkar and Vikings indicated by the card and by the summer card.
Yep.
So that's the area. The summer card's dictating how many.
So it goes there.
Yep. Battle if necessary.
Right.
Then at the start of each following season except winter, the Pretender draws the top card of the Danes deck, moves a Drakkar and any Vikings and land areas adjacent to that Drakkar to the new area.
Oh, it's okay. So whoever's on there just keeps moving. So like if we drew one that was down here, this would literally go
With the units.
like that.
Yes.
Okay.
But if there was 2 Drakkars out there,
Yeah.
you get to choose which one.
Got it.
And then raid the area. If there is more than 1 Drakkar on the board, the player gets to decide. Nice.
Cool.
Remember, place pillage markers adjacent, and then you got to remove pillage markers.
Yep.
Asterisks. This means you draw 2 Dane cards at the start of summer. 1 to determine where the Dane unit's already on the board. 1 to move ones that are out there already. So at the start of summer, after the first summer, you would draw 2 Dane cards. 1 places new ones out there. 1 would move the existing. You're not going to place and then move the placed ones.
Yeah.
If there is no Drakkar on the board, skip that part of the step of drawing 2 cards. During autumn, after having randomly moved a Drakkar, following the procedure we just explained, you may bribe Danes and neutral units as normal. Note, independent Danes cannot be played with either the Puppet Danes or Subversion Cards optional rules.
Okay.
So it's very clear that the next 2 sections I'm about to go through cannot be combined with what we just went over.
Got it.
Next, Puppet Danes. This allows players to decide where the Danes land, rather than landing them based on the cards. Very simple. Apply the standard summer raids, except the winner of the Bit of Influence does not draw Danes cards. Instead, they place a Drakkar in any sea area. If there's a player ship, initiate battle. If there is no sea battle, take the Viking card or Viking amount based on the summer card. Again, if there's units then on land, you can battle them. If not, you're good. Yep. During the autumn, you may pay to move Danes and neutral units as normal. So very simple. It's just that the person who won the bid gets to make that decision. Now, thank you. Subversion cards. This rule allows players to bid to win a more powerful subversion card. It's recommended if you want one-off powerful effects. So at the very top, you have the name of the card, then the effect. Oh, we'll just zoom into mid-view over there. Right there. How to play. As part of setup, shuffle the deck. Place 3 cards face down by the side of the board. The remaining cards are not used. Apply the standard summer Bid of Influence rule, but the winner of the bid takes the top card of the Subversion deck and decides whether to resolve the effect of the card or to draw Dane cards up to the amount of gold bid plus 1. If the winner decides to resolve the Subversion card, resolve it and draw the top card of the Dane deck to place the Danes. If the winner decides to perform the raid, discard the Subversion card. Some Subversion cards may cause Danes not to be placed on the board. Again, it clarifies you cannot do this with the Independent Danes module, or Independent Danes optional mode.
So it said to put 3 by the side of the board.
Place 3 face down by the side of the board, so in a stack.
And then, so, is this flipped before drawing this, or is
No,
this drawn?
Summer Bid of Influence, the winner of the bid takes the top card and reads it. So no one else is going to know what that card says, just the winner of that bid.
Then they can choose to do it.
Then they choose either to do that, and then they draw 1 card from the top of the deck for location, or they choose not to do that and draw up to the number plus 1 of gold bid, and then do the normal process.
The usual thing. Okay.
For clarification here, it does not say that you cannot mix puppet and subversion. So it looks like you can do the subversion card and also do the puppets add-on. You cannot do the independent. So the puppets one is when the winner of the bid gets to choose where the Danes go instead of drawing the top card.
Got it.
So you can merge those, so you just have to clarify before you start the game what you're doing.
And so this subversion card is Assassination. Choose an opponent and roll 1 of the level 1 dice, I assume that's what it is? Yep, one of these. If you roll a sword, eliminate any opposing ruler. Otherwise, draw 3 lordship cards.
Wow, powerful. That's why there's only 3 of them. All right. A few other game modes available is the Autumn Bid for Influence. This rule repeats the Summer Bid for Influence for the Autumn Bribe, Neutrals, and Dane Step. So pretty much you're going to be bidding twice. So it says after the Autumn card is revealed, there's a bid of influence. This is conducted in the same way as the Summer Bid for Influence. All players who bid get to move Neutral and Dane units. The amount of gold you bid equals the value of units you can move. So if you bid 5 gold, you can move 5 value of units. So that is 1 Alderman, 1 Thing, and 2 Krolls or 5 Krolls. And so on. We have the Randomized Rulers add-on. This rule randomizes which ruler you draw at setup and which ruler is slain. It is introduced slightly more randomness to the realism of the game. How to play, very simple. When drawing a ruler from your kingdom, shuffle, flip your available rulers, then draw the top one from the deck. So it says randomly shuffle, and it also says like flip them around because you have the king and queen side, and then randomly draw the top one of your deck, that's the one you're using. And then finally, Vikings versus Neutrals battle. This rule allows players to mimic the normal battle sequence between Neutral and Dane units following Autumn movement. It's less deterministic than the standard. So how to add on that, or how to use that add-on, resolve a Viking versus Neutral unit battle per the standard battle rules with the player clockwise of the attacking player taking control of the defending units. No lordship cards can be used by either player. The player decides if the units will retreat and to where after the first battle. Likewise, they determine where the losing units will retreat at the end. These units must retreat together following the area requirements as listed during the battle section. So that is the one scenario, if you add that on and agree upon it before the game starts, where after the first battle, someone can decide to retreat.
Yep.
Or a non-human.
Yep.
That's only for Danes versus Neutral.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
So that is the base explanation for rulebook of Bretwalda.
Yep. All right. So first we're going to start with the Artifacts expansion, which adds a few extra components. Discover legendary artifacts. Arm your ruler with fabled swords, shields, and various other items of immense power, and prove you're worthy of wielding them. Artifacts requires the base Bretwalda game to be played. Obviously, the Artifacts expansion can be played with or without the Danelag or Vanished Kingdoms expansions, and all optional rules in the base game. It introduces new mythical objects based on Anglo-Saxon and Norse mythology and legends. These artifacts provide different types of bonuses to the ruler who controls them all. And then, I guess, board is...
Yep. All right.
There you go.
And for this, obviously, you'll see a bunch of new cards and different... Some of these have different characters and everything. It obviously requires the base game to play, as Nick just mentioned. So for this one, for artifacts, it comes with a deck of 20 artifacts cards and corresponding markers. So there are a bunch of different markers in here. Plus this new board. Markers will look like that. They're double-sided, a black side and a nice yellow side. These artifact cards are special cards in the game that represent powerful items or equipment that can be utilized by rulers. They enhance rulers' ability. These cards can be obtained through various means, such as discovering them, purchasing them, and earning them. Additionally, there are 4 new season cards. So 4 changes in setup. Shuffle the face-down artifact markers, except the helmet marker. It's a very specific one. Keep the rest face down in a pile next to the board. Place 5 of them onto the board. So there is 1,
So do the helmet out by
2,
itself.
3, 4, and 5. Yep, so the helmet is this marker right there. Those 5 will go. And we'll go back to the board here. 1 here. 1 here. 1 in the dead center. 1 here.
In the water?
No. And 1 right there with that dude. This was here to start the game. Okay, so it's in the 4 spaces with the alderman plus the center. Very nicely. Easy to do.
Yep.
Separate the helmet card from the artifacts deck. So in this artifact deck, because we shuffled it not knowing any better, it's probably me that shuffled it, but that's fine.
Yep.
Separate the helmet card. Place that card in the corresponding marker next to the game board. Place the deck of artifact cards face up next to the game board. You do not have to shuffle it. If you have the exclusive artifacts board, like we do over here, place that next to the game board and place the artifact deck onto that board. So that just goes off to the side with that token. Additionally...
Is that face up?
Yes.
Okay.
Face up, yep. Additionally, there are new season cards available. We're not going to do this to mess it up, but it says add the new season cards to the respective standard decks, then follow the standard rules for creating the season deck, shuffle the deck, choose 3 of them to place, replace the remaining in the box. These new season cards are only added when playing this artifacts module. Now, Phalanx is phenomenal at doing this. On each of these cards, for all 3 modules, it says the letters of the module. So these say A, and then have 3 numbers.
It also, in the bottom right-hand corner, has the same symbol as the artifact.
Fantastic. And then you have VK, and then D for the other 2 expansions we'll cover in a moment. So if you are prepping for the game, you can easily go through your deck and identify the 6 base version plus anything from the add-ins. So very nice and easy to do. In this case, it's not guaranteed that they make it in, but you just shuffle it in with the 6 and still draw 3.
I mean, you could guarantee it. You can draw 2 and then shuffle that into it if you want.
House roll it.
If you really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the only changes. That's what it says next. If you want to do it, take 2 and pad that one in.
Amazing.
So that is the only changes for setup. It does say that in games where you are not using all 4 Dane player kingdoms, artifacts that are located in areas are excluded from play, or excluded from the game or not placed. So again, same thing. So we placed 4 artifacts out on the board. If we were only using 2 of these colors, we would remove 2 of them that aren't in the areas of our color. So that's very straightforward, similar to how these Dauks work. So there you go, gameplay.
Alrighty. Artifacts are powerful and unique items that help your ruler in your quest to become the Bretwalda. Each artifact confers a unique ability on the ruler who has it. This ability only works in the area where the ruler is located, unless the card says otherwise. Gaining and losing artifacts. If your ruler ends its movement in an area with an artifact marker, you may claim it for your ruler. If you do, place the marker face up in your play area on top of your ruler card, and search through the artifacts deck for the corresponding artifact card. Place the card under your next, under or next to your ruler card. Note that it is possible for more than 1 artifact marker to be in your area. In this case, your ruler can take all the markers. The ruler now gains the ability or abilities conferred by that artifact or artifacts for the rest of the game or until they are slain. If your ruler is slain, place an artifact card that they had face up next to the board. Take the artifact marker from the ruler card and place them face up in the area where the ruler was slain. If another ruler ends its movement in that area, he or she may claim the artifact or artifacts. So, if you end up dying in this area, this would just drop right there face up, so people will now know that that horn is right there and they can go and pick it up as they so please.
Yep, so example, if I came in here, nothing's there. I get the marker. We flip it.
Nope.
What?
Has to be your ruler.
Okay, sorry. My ruler came in here.
It's for the people at home.
Yep. My ruler came in here. Boom. I would flip it. I get that. You get the card of the matching picture.
Yep.
So you have to go through the deck and find the exact matching one. So in this case, that is the Casket of Plenty. During collection, collect twice in the area with the Casket of Plenty. So this would go onto my ruler card back here. When my ruler goes somewhere like this, and or actually right where he is, I collect 2 gold. I would get 4 gold instead.
Nice.
And that would just stay over here.
Very cool. All right. The Raidwald's Helmet. Raidwald's Helmet is an artifact that provides you with 1 Dauk if your ruler has it. This artifact only enters play if the Autumn Season card, Sutton Hoo, is drawn.
Which was the specific one.
This is a new season card added to the expansion. When the Sudden Who card is revealed, the player with the fewest Daleks, ties are resolved by the pretender, chooses any area on the board that has no control markers and is not a home area of any minor kingdom if the game uses the Vanished Kingdoms expansion, and places the Redwald's helmet marker there. If there is no available area meeting these conditions, the effect of this card should be skipped and proceed to bribe neutral or Dane units. So essentially it would not go down. And it is literally as simple as that for the artifacts. It just gives you some cool and very random. Like there are a lot of these artifacts, as you can see, and you only end up using 5 of these in the game, or fewer if you have fewer kingdoms playing. You use 3.
Yeah. So it's good. It really gives you a huge benefit, but again, because there's so little in play, it's not an overwhelming benefit. It's also kind of nice where...
It's very easy to add in, too.
Yeah, it's very easy to add in, and it's nice where it's kind of equal distant from each player. So each player will have a chance to grab one if they move into there with their ruler, and you're not really stuck behind the 8 ball necessarily where like one player got 4 because they were all one-sided.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right.
All right. Next up, we have that. You can start it right off.
Vanished Kingdoms. Dark Ages Britain. A heptarchy of 7 kingdoms. With the Bretwalda. A heptarchy.
Oh, sure. Oh, all right.
Yes.
I thought you stuttered through the word.
No, a heptarchy. Of 7 kingdoms, with the Bretwalda at its head. The 4 major kingdoms dominate. The minor kingdoms, some very small, some aspiring to greatness, also play their part. If you can control the most powerful among them, you will be one step closer to becoming the Bretwalda. But beware, their shifting alliances' betrayal is but a season away. Vanished Kingdoms requires the base Bretwalda game to be played. Duh. Vanished Kingdoms contains a modular expansion for Bretwalda.
Where's Walda?
Minor Kingdoms. It also adds new season and lordship cards to provide more variation to the game. The Minor Kingdoms module introduces 4 minor kingdoms: Altkult, Katwer, Defnas, and Gwynedd, and the new land units for each of them. Each of these kingdoms begins the game in historically accurate locations. Katwer is southeast England, Defnas is southwest England, Gwynedd is Wales, and Altkult is north of Hadrian's Wall. The minor kingdoms are not player kingdoms. At the start of each spring and autumn season, players will take control of one of them, treating them as vassals. Units of the minor kingdoms can be used to complete the chronicles and to move and battle on behalf of their controlling kingdoms. Vanished Kingdoms can be played individually or together with or without the Danelag Expansion, Artifacts Expansion, and all optional rules in the base game. The new cards are intended to add new variety to gameplay. They can also be added to any game of Bretwalda in any combination. This expansion also contains a new type of unit called the Hunter. It can be added to the base game and any expansions. It says, note, from now on in this rulebook, the 4-player kingdoms in the base game, East Anglia, Northumbria, Mercia, and Wessex, and the Danes' kingdom from Danelag expansions are referred to as the player kingdoms. This is necessary to distinguish between the new type of kingdom introduced by the expansion, the minor kingdom. A minor kingdom controlled by a player kingdom is called a vassal. Do you want to count those? Make sure they're all there.
No, they're not.
All
All right.
Slipped under the thing.
So, no. Because there's cards. They fell right here.
Oh,
Those I can see. All right. So, for the new cards and new setup and everything. So, first off, before we get to that, we have the Hunter. Hunters are a new land unit that can be added to the base game or any expansion. They represent a freeman's skill at hunting with a bow. Each non-Dane kingdom has 2 hunters.
They got little puppies. He's got a dog and a bow and arrow.
So wounds are assigned to them after crolls. So in lineup, and again, it's on the play rate, which is very nicely done.
Yep.
The only thing is I wish there was like a little asterisk or a VK next to that on the play rate, but that's fine. To say it's only in that expansion. but it shows the lineup in the hierarchy. For the hunters have a little symbol next to their battle dice with a 1. In battle, a hunter rolls its battle dice before all the others, meaning the non-hunter units. Any wounds are applied to opposing units before they roll. So you're doing a ranged attack. So it makes sense. A hunter launched its arrow before its own battleman ran up and started attacking.
That's cool.
This can result in opposing units being slain before they even roll their battle dice.
It's stupid to walk. I guess you could walk in there with the hunter. I was like, if someone walked in to that situation and just got murdered, like, yeah, I'll risk it. Because he's also rolling in the middle one.
Yeah.
So it's like, Nick roll. A
That's
one
not-
and a
that's
one
not
and a
blank.
one-
There's
a
a
one-
blank.
a one and a shield.
That's a pretty good roll, actually.
There's one. Oh, there's a blank.
And there's just singles. For setup of...
Well, I mean, it's a bad roll because the shield doesn't matter at that point.
The shield matters the collective roll.
Yeah, but that's not part of it. He rolls it before everyone else rolls.
Yeah, but I'm assuming the results still hold.
Maybe.
They wouldn't have those on the dice if they didn't mean
I'm
anything.
gonna find out.
I don't know. Yeah. For setup,
Typical us.
add the new Lordship cards and the new Chronicle cards. So we do have a new deck of each of those into the respective decks and shuffle. We'll probably end up doing that when we play because, again, how easy this will transition in. And these cards can just be added in anyway, regardless if you use this expansion or not. But we're not going to add them in right now.
Certainly not.
Yeah. Next, place the Minor Kingdom markers and Minor Kingdom units, 1 Alderman, 1 Thang, 1 Kroll, on the board as shown in the picture. So again, this is just going to add these 4 kingdoms and their units out onto the board. Remove any neutral units from the base game setup from those areas.
That was enough.
Yep, just fix this though. All right.
This. Struggling with that down there.
Okay, so we have 1, 1 and 1 over here. So this is the Guinyend over in this corner over here. Blue is up in this corner up here. Boom and boom. You have the beige. Oh, so blue is the alt cult. So then you have the Defnas, which are the beige color. They are in this corner down here.
Yeah, it's had nothing to do uniquely to this expansion, which is nice.
And then you have
Interesting.
the final one, which is the Canterware. And they are located... yep, that's in the bottom corner. Then this one goes here. This one goes here. So then it says, yes, remove all neutrals if you had any neutrals in that location.
Where'd you put yours?
I don't have any. What do you
Oh,
mean?
there's no neutrals in locations where you put them?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Happened to not. Oh, okay, I think I moved some of these around by accident from
That's
our
fine.
battle examples and everything.
It's all good.
Then it says add the 4 seasons cards. So we have another 4 seasons cards into the decks. Shuffle them, draw 3. If you want to ensure those are in play, same thing. Have those and just draw 2 out of the base deck. Place the 5 vassal markers on each spring and autumn on the round track. So rounds 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. So those vassal markers are specific markers from
And these also can be
this
put in.
game.
These have no context to the additional units being used, so these seem like they can also just be added right in to the base game as well.
Nice. That's on the end.
For what?
Yes. So place those out right there. And those are the new vassal markers. Place the hunter units with other units of the corresponding kingdom in the relative awkward play area. So that's just saying take your hunter and place them over with your units. And then place the 4 minor kingdom cards face up next to the board, which we have done over here. What we would probably do is, as you take control of one, you would just gain those cards in front of you, and it might tell us to do that anyway. As per setup in the base game, after the pretender has determined the first round, and determine direction of play. Starting with the last player going in reverse order, each player selects one minor kingdom card and then places that minor kingdom's units in their player area. Obviously, the ones that are not already on the board, the ones in the box. So you would then grab your card, place it next to your play area, take the units. So you'll have one additional thing, one additional Kroll, no additional Alderman. So pretty straightforward for setup. Variable player count setup, exact same thing. If you're not playing with 4 players, minor kingdoms that are located in areas excluded from the game are not used either. So those would come off. If you are playing with the Danelag Expansion, the Dane's player kingdom begins the game as the Pretender, which is going to tell you in that expansion. They do not get a minor kingdom card.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless if you're playing with less than 4, the Danes will not get a kingdom. All right. Yeah.
Cool. We got core concepts?
Yeah.
All right. Core concepts, vassals, units, markers, and home areas. There are 4 minor kingdoms, Cantaware, Delphnas, Gwynedd, and Altgold. Players gain control of one of these kingdoms each spring and autumn round. A minor kingdom you control is called a vassal.
Yep.
Were these supposed to go there?
Yes.
Or wasn't there individual markers?
No.
Oh. Good. Note, units of the 4 minor kingdoms are not neutral units unless and until their kingdom becomes conquered. At that point, they become neutral units and are treated as such. E.g., they may be bribed in autumn. The 4 minor kingdoms have the same number and type of units. 1 Alderman, 2 Thangs, and 2 Corals? Corals?
Wow. Whatever.
Whatever. Corals. These have the same stats as equivalent units of the player kingdoms. The 4 minor kingdoms each have 3 home areas. These home areas are identified by the presence of the relevant minor kingdom marker in the area. The minor kingdoms do not have capitals. Okay. Oh. Where the...
What?
You didn't put out the minor kingdom markers. That's... So in each of the areas where the units start off, there is a minor kingdom control marker that's there as well.
Mm.
So that is their home area. So their home area is identified by the presence of their marker, so they don't have capitals. Nope.
I mean, no.
Little ones. It's 4 little markers.
Ah.
Yeah. So control. A player kingdom controls all the units and areas controlled by its vassal, including areas containing a dog, as well as food markers and buildings in those areas. If a unit of a minor kingdom moves into an area with a player kingdom's control marker, or after winning a battle in an area with a control marker, it will remove that control marker unless it is the vassal of that kingdom. Oh, okay. Got it. I don't know why that confused me. Minor kingdom units do not place control markers. By default, a minor kingdom is considered to control any area with its units and no control marker, its home areas, unless these contain a player kingdom, neutral, or Dane unit. Okay? Player
So
kingdom.
they're there, they control it.
Yeah, they're there, they control it. And their homes, once they leave, if somebody else is there, whoever's there controls it,
Yep.
that area. Player kingdom units do not place control markers in the home areas of the minor kingdoms. If you have a unit in a minor kingdom home area, by default, you control that area. Do not remove the minor kingdom marker in that area. The minor kingdom markers are only ever removed if the minor kingdom is conquered. A minor kingdom is considered conquered when all of its home area contain opposing units following any battles. Okay, so it's conquered if the 3 areas that have...
I didn't put all of them out.
Oh, okay.
That's all a whole mess in this box.
Got it. So the 3 areas
Yeah.
that have markers, if there are 3 units of one kind in there, it's considered conquered. And that's when those minor things would come off. Okay. Example, yes, got it. What is that one saying? Number 1. Gains the dog. And gameplay. Considering gaining a minor kingdom as a vassal. At the beginning of a season phase with a vassal marker, those, all players return their current minor kingdom card face up next to the board where the cards have been placed during setup. Then, starting with the player with the least Daleks, pretender decides, breaks wins, players may select an available minor kingdom and place it in their player area. The minor kingdom is now their vassal until the next spring/autumn season or until the minor kingdom is conquered. This can be the same minor kingdom card that they had previously, if it is still available to select. Place any off-board units of that minor kingdom in your player area. Note that in a 5-player game, using the Danelag Expansion, this means that the pretender will not be able to select a minor kingdom card unless a player earlier in turn order forgoes the option of selecting one. So, using a vassal. Units of a vassal are controlled by the controlling player kingdom, which can use them as land units for movement purposes. In addition, each minor kingdom card has a unique ability that confers on the controlling kingdom. Completing Chronicles, the areas, units, and food markers of your vassal may be used to complete a Chronicle card. Season effects. Minor Kingdom Season Card effects. The season cards from the Vanished Kingdoms expansion allows players to place additional markers provided in this expansion on the board, representing the development of those areas. Remember, these markers may be used to complete a Chronicle card. So there's little green markers in there as well.
Yes.
That go on the board that have the gold symbol or the food symbol. So you reap what you sow. So add a food production marker as instructed when you collect food from an area with a food production marker. Place one additional food in that area. Maritime trade. So add a harbor marker as instructed to an area adjacent to a sea with a harbor marker is treated as having a harbor. So one that doesn't currently have one. Yep.
Yeah, there's harbor markers over here.
Boom. Nice. Wealthy lands, add a gold production marker so you get additional gold during production or collection. And then urbanization, add a city marker as instructed. Any area with a city marker is treated as a city, not a countryside. What?
It's not perfectly centered, the symbol.
Oh, whatever.
It freaks me out.
I mean, it's not, it doesn't matter. It's literally
it means nothing, but it's not perfectly centered in the thing.
Hilarious. All right, goes through an example, putting them down. You just put them down and it just adds to it. With the cities, add a city marker instruction. Any area with a city marker is treated as a city. Okay, treated as a city, not a countryside. Sorry, I feel like I read that while also paying attention to you there. So then, winter and feeding the army. Units of your vassal must be fed as your kingdom units. You may spend food from areas controlled by your kingdom to feed vassal units, and food in areas controlled by your vassals may be used to feed your units in your kingdom. You decide the order in which units are fed. Okay? So, anywhere you have people who are loyal to you, you can use the food to feed each other. Actions. Any kingdom tile effect with the word your that refers to units do not apply to your vassal units. So, for development.
So you cannot move vassal scrolls then?
You may pay and place a building in an area with your control marker as normal. Alternatively, you may pay and place a building in a home area of your vassal or any area with a unit of your vassal. Though if control of a minor kingdom changes in a subsequent spring or autumn season, you will lose control of the building. So developing, it just says place one kingdom tile and one building.
Yeah.
Yep. Collection. Your vassal home areas. You may collect gold and food. Asterisk, if an abbey or granary is in the area, gain an additional gold or food marker respectively from any home areas of your vassal that do not contain opposing units.
Or that contradicts the above statement.
Hold on.
Okay.
You do not need any units present to collect in your vassal home areas. You may also collect from areas you control with vassal units. They act as your units for collection. Add gold to your supply and place food markers in the relevant areas with food symbols. You may spend any food markers in those areas at any point. Any kingdom tile effects with the word your that refers to units do not apply to vassal units.
But that just said for collection, it does apply to you.
No, it says your vassal home areas.
Oh, not
specifically.
units. Okay.
Yeah. So your vassal home areas. You may collect gold and food from any home areas of your vassal that do not contain opposing units. It says you may also collect from areas you control with vassal units.
So it does contradict it, though.
They act as your units for collection.
Okay.
It does. So collection contradicts this top. Opponent's vassal home areas. You may collect gold and food from the home areas of an opponent's vassal if you have your units or your vassal's units in that area. Add gold to your supply and place food markers in the relevant areas with the food symbol. You may spend any food markers in those areas at any point as long as you have units in that area. Yeah, they're right. Important. Any kingdom tile. Oh, kingdom tile.
Yeah, that's...
These aren't
Oh,
tiles.
just the tile, not the action. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. There we go.
So it's referring to these specific tiles, not to the
base
actions of the
action.
tile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense. Now.
Feared. You may recruit up to 2 available units of any type from your vassal for free. These can only be placed in the home area of that vassal, free of opposing units. In addition, draw 1 lordship per mead hall in areas controlled by your vassal. That is that part of the Viking?
Just so, yeah.
Okay, must be. I was wondering if it
No.
added that or not.
No, that's for his board.
You may not recruit units of your kingdom in areas controlled by your vassal. And movement. During your move action, use standard movement rules for your vassal units. Exception, vassal cures can move like any other land unit from the beginning of the game.
Okay. So even if you don't have Kroll leaders out, they can just move their Krolls. Okay.
Yeah. Remember, vassal units do not place control marker units of your vassal. Units of your vassal can be moved into areas with your control markers or units, and your kingdom unit may enter areas controlled by the vassal. If control of the minor kingdom changes at the start of the spring/autumn season and your units and units of the minor kingdom are in the same area, a battle occurs straight away. Resolve any battles according to the order of play. And battles. In battles involving units of your vassal, use these standard rules. You may play lordship cards to support your vassal in battle and draw lordship cards after the battle. Lastly, conquering a minor kingdom. If at any point a minor kingdom no longer controls any of its home areas, i.e. opposing units are present in each of the home areas of that minor kingdom, it becomes conquered and is no longer present in the game. The player that currently controls that kingdom removes the minor kingdom card, minor kingdom markers, and all off-board units from the minor kingdom from the game. Units of the conquered kingdom that are on the board are treated as neutral for the rest of the game.
All right.
Woo! Bam!
Pretty straightforward overall, though.
And on the back, it has the abilities as well of those minor kingdoms. So essentially, they help you.
Yeah.
They're just an extension of you,
But they'll switch ownership in between the
but
seasons.
they're not, like it says in the beginning, but beware of shifting alliances,
Yes.
because they will shift constantly. Boom. Boom. Next, and lastly,
Danelag.
we have... Oh, let's get this guy's off here.
Yeah, I'll take it down here. Okay,
I think this is going to be my favorite expansion, honestly, other than the artifacts. Because I'm hoping that it adds the 5th player, but I hope it also just adds it as another playable character in general.
We'll find out.
Because I get to play, when this happens, as Ragnar Lothbrok. Or
Or
Lagertha.
he plays against you.
Or Lagertha. It's true. 865 AD. The great heathen army crosses the North Sea. Its dracars point towards England's shores. The rulers of Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, and East Anglia prepare to defend their lands. They prepare for bloodshed. Danelag requires the base... Yes. Danelag is an expansion for Bretwalda set 70 years after the events covered in the base Bretwalda game. It allows one player to choose the Danes as a playable faction, the Danes Kingdom. The Danes Kingdom has the same victory conditions as the other player kingdoms, henceforth known as the Anglo-Saxon Kingdoms. Like the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, the Dane Kingdom obtains Daleks by controlling key areas. However, as the Danes have neither adopted Christianity nor the habit of keeping written records, the Danes Kingdoms does not earn Daleks by controlling abbeys or completing chronicles. Its alternative means for obtaining Dalks are through building settlements, known as burgs, and slaying Anglo-Saxon rulers. Nice. In other ways, the Dane kingdoms work in a similar way to the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, although how units are recruited works differently. The Danes' kingdoms comes with its own kingdom board, kingdom tiles and lordship cards, as well as new Dane kingdom tiles as well as new Danes units, rulers, jarls, and settlers, and as a GameFound exclusive, berserkers.
Has jarls? Nice. Love a good jarl.
That's what Ragnar is.
Yeah, no.
Right,
The jarl,
Jarl.
the like whole thing is kind of
Yeah,
jarls.
Yeah. It also adds a new season and chronicle card to account for the continuous, active presence of the Danes in the game, and additional pillage and gold markers. Whilst Danelag enables Bretwalda to be played by 5 players, it can also be played at lower player counts. Hell yeah. It may be played with the advanced setup, autumn bid for influence, and randomized rulers optional rules from the base game. Not the other optional rules. So no puppet.
No independent.
No independent.
No subversion.
And no subversion. Which makes sense because you are the Danelag.
Yeah.
Components and game setup. There you go.
Yep. All
Get
right.
it.
So first off, in the components, again, there's the new units. You just mentioned the berserkers, the jarl, a bunch of other things. We'll go through all those in a moment.
Yeah.
For game setup, set up the board using the base setup, but do not place the Dane cards that are used in the game. Shuffle the Dane lordship cards and place them on the Dane card icon. Yep. So we have a new deck of cards that get placed there. There's still black like the other ones, but there's a different symbol on top.
Which I like. I like that it is consistent.
There are additional chronicle cards. It says add those in, shuffle them in, and place them into the designated space. So
Nice.
again, you're just adding them into the deck. Very straightforward. Add 2 and 10 gold markers into the game. So there's 2 markers and there's 10s. Those will just all get added into the game. There's more ally and pillage markers available now because you need more for a 5th player. If you're only playing with 4 or less players, you don't need to take the additional ally tokens or the additional pillage tokens. For pillage, we just kind of already had them all together. But if you have them separate, unless you're playing with all 5 players, you don't need to bring those in. Add the new season cards to the respective decks. Shuffle the decks, place the top 3 cards on the designated space, blah, blah, blah. Place the rest back in the box. In this one, it does not give you the disclaimer of adding them both in. Nope, it does not give you the disclaimer to add them both in. So in this case, you would be shuffling the whole deck to make it probably balanced. And then finally, add the new Anglo-Saxon ruler card for each kingdom to the respective deck of ruler cards. So that is over here.
Oh, nice.
There are 4 new rulers, or technically 8, double-sided, king and queen, for the kingdoms. So these would each get added into the decks of choices you have, because that gives you additionally 1 new choice, but it also gives you 1 extra ruler in gameplay.
What do I have for Y6? I'll switch. And Alfred. Oh, Alfred. Yeah.
Of course, the butler.
No. No, Alfred, I think actually was, Egbert grandson.
All right. Kingdom setup. All the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms place the action tile from the expansion on their kingdom boards. They remove the following kingdom tiles. So it gives you a list. The Frankish builders, tax collectors, general feared, and the Creole leaders. So those will all get removed. It's 1 of each color. And then we each have a new lineup. So we have this tile here. We'll go right on top. So the big difference here, this says place 1 kingdom tile in 1 building. This is place 1 kingdom tile in any number of buildings. Collection changes from collected areas with your units. At least for me, I think these are all, no, these are all the same. Collect in areas with your units and 2 areas without your units. So you're going to collect more. The feared, instead of recruit and upgrade units in 1 city and 1 harbor, recruit units in all cities in all your harbors. And then finally, move all your units except Creoles. This just allows you to move all units. Because you're going against the Dane, it balances out your abilities.
So it said to take out the Creole leaders thing then, right?
Because, yes. And
Nice.
3 others, so.
Yeah.
So again, that just helps balance everything. Then, and we're going to go over here, we have the Danelag board. So if you're playing as the black Danelag character, you're going to do the following. So first, they now have their list of actions on top. You're going to place their victory marker out on the board. You're going to place all of their indication or all their things onto this board. So first thing is you have the board itself. You have the action tiles. So that's a whole stack of tiles available here with the black background. You will have 4 action markers similar to ours would be given to them for the 4 colors. You'll have all of the black control markers. You will have 5 gold given to them. You will give them 1 of the Dane's Lordship cards, which are the ones over there. They would get 7 of their Dane units. They would get 3 Berg markers. They would get 4 Dauks for slaying rulers and 1 Dauk for Bergs. 4 bond cards and 4 bond markers. And automatically they start with the Pretender.
Nice.
1 of their ruler cards, and from the card chosen, king or queen side, is placed face up, the remaining underneath. So you set it up mostly the same. This section will be a little bit different in terms of the Dauks and the Bergs and the bond cards. So if you're interested in playing this and you're playing as the Danelag, just follow this setup instead of the setup for a player board. Finally, place a Drakkar in any sea area and place 1 settler, 1 Viking, 1 Jarl, and 1 ruler on it. So the Danelag will not start on the game board's land properties. They will start in one of the sea spaces.
I don't know the rest.
That's fine. They're all around. All right. And then for randomness, you can use the randomized ruler rule from the base game if you so choose. You are now ready to launch your Drakkars and conquer the Anglo-Saxons. All right, I'll just read the new rules and you can have everything else. New rules. Unless otherwise stated, the rules are the same as Bretwalda. So where the text on a card or tile says something that contradicts a rule in the rulebook, or the base game rulebook, or this rulebook, the text on the card takes precedence. So always make sure the card is what you go with. Units. The Dane Kingdom controls all of the black units. They now have the following stats. So you still have the same things. The value, the movement, the health, the battle dice, and those are some listed on here. The big changes is the Jarl, and we'll call out this too, because we're on this view. There is a separate player aid with their stats right here. So I'm not going to even go over all of them. They're all right here on the separate player aid that has the black background. So it'll go over all that. It also goes over the buildings that they have access to, because they have a burg where we have something else. We have the Abbey. And it goes over any other changes here. Dauks. The Dane's Kingdom does not receive or complete Chronicle cards nor build abbeys. They gain Dauks a little differently. If they control an area with Dauks on the board, they gain the Dauk. So that's the same as the base game. Mm-hmm. So if you're on the board and you're in a controlled area with a Dauk, you get the Dauk. If a Dane slays an opposing ruler, gain 1 Dauk. When a Dane unit slays an opposing ruler, max 1 per kingdom. So for each kingdom you slay, you get a Dauk. After slaying a ruler, place the relevant colored Dane Dauk in the space on the board. So, yes. That is where these 5 spaces come into play. So, let's just say, for example, they took out the yellow. The yellow Dauk would go right there. So it claims, yes, I have taken over them. And then finally, so that's the 4 colors right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The black one is controlling Bergs. When you control 3 Bergs, gain 1 Dauk. That'll go in the center. Bergs operate same way as the Abbeys. So once you get 3, you get the Dauk associated.
And there would be a different tile, but there is... You're on your board?
No, I'm right here.
Yeah. But in the version we have these
Yep.
minis for you.
Yep, nice little minis. All right, so now we go into the new season effects and how this expansion works.
All right. Season card effects also apply to the Dane Kingdom, and following changes apply to the summer and autumn seasons. Summer, Dane's Raid. When playing with the Dane's Kingdom, instead of conducting a bid for influence step, the Dane's Kingdom player places a Drakkar in any sea space. Then they place the number of Vikings indicated on the summer card next to that Drakkar, representing that they are on that Drakkar. If there are not enough Vikings in the supply, place settlers on the Drakkar instead. If there are not enough settlers, the missing units are not placed. If there is an Anglo-Saxon kingdom ship in the chosen sea area, a battle is resolved. Pillage. Pillage markers are placed in the areas adjacent to locations of any Dane land units and removed from areas when a Dane unit is no longer adjacent, like normal. Important. Unlike the base game, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms can collect food and gold from areas with pillage markers if they have a unit in that area. Okay? So for autumn, bribe neutral and Danes. Players can bribe neutral units but cannot bribe Dane units. Those are the season effects. So the big key there is can't bribe Danes, and now the other player kingdoms can collect in places with raid markers. The Anglo-Saxon kingdoms start the game with an action tile with an amended version of the basic actions from the game. So the development action, kingdom tiles. The Dane kingdom gains access to 12 unique kingdom tiles. These emphasize the cultural, bureaucratic, and technological divergences between the Dane kingdoms and the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms mechanically. They are also placed in the same way as for the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Buildings. The Dane kingdom gains access to a new building, the Burg. This represents Dane's stronghold or settlement. Burgs replace abbeys for the Dane kingdoms. The Danes, as non-Christians, cannot build abbeys. They may control an area with an abbey, but gain no benefit from it. No other kingdom can build a burg. The Dane kingdoms may build any other building like Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Burgs can only be built in a countryside area. It has the following effects. It allows Dane kingdoms to recruit in that area. The Dane kingdom player rolls 1 additional gray die in a battle with an area with a burg. If a Dane kingdom controls 3 burgs, it gains 1 Dalek. If an Anglo-Saxon kingdom gains control of a burg, it gains the benefit of the burg provides in battle, but control of 3 burgs does not gain a Dalek.
Okay.
So you still get the battle benefit, but not the Dalek.
Yep.
Collection. The Danes' kingdom collects gold and food from all areas with food and gold symbols that contain 1 or more Dane land units. Plunder. If the Dane kingdom has developed the plunder development tile, it can collect food and gold from up to 2 areas with pillage markers when taking the collection action. The amount matching the symbol on those areas. Food markers collected in this way are placed in any Dane's kingdom controlled area adjacent to the pillage markers. Cool. Fyrd. Recruit. The Danes' kingdoms can recruit onto Drakkars or in areas with burgs. Unlike for Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, units can be recruited to multiple Drakkars or burgs as part of the same action, i.e. not just a single city area like the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Excuse me. No more than 2 land units can be recruited in a single Drakkar, and no more than 1 unit to a single burg. In addition, as part of these same actions, a Drakkar can be recruited in a Dane's kingdom-controlled harbor, or in a sea area adjacent to a harbor the Danes control. Land units cannot be recruited onto the Drakkar you recruited in the same action. Okay. Upgrade. A Dane land unit can only be upgraded in a burg. Each burg can either upgrade or recruit a unit. It cannot do both in the same turn. To do so, swap a settler for a Viking or Berserker from your supply, or a Viking or Berserker for a Jarl from their supply. Pay 2 gold to the general supply. Okay?
So same, but just different character names.
Yep. Movement. All Danes units may move individually. The priority order for assigning wounds battles. So that's it for movement. All Dane units may move individually.
So same as everything else, yes.
Priority. The priority order for assigning wounds is Settlers, Berserkers, Vikings, Jarls, Ruler.
Right on
Dealio.
Yep.
Other rules. Dane Lordship cards. The Dane Kingdom only uses Dane Lordship cards. No other kingdoms may use these cards. They work in the same way as standard Lordship cards from the base game. At the end of their turn, the Dane Kingdom player must discard the number of Lordship cards in their hand down to 8. The exception, if a Lordship card played by an Anglo-Saxon kingdom allows them to take a Dane Lordship card, or vice versa, then it may be used by this kingdom. Once played, it returns as discarded to its starting deck. Interesting. So the regular kingdoms could potentially get those. Bond cards and markers. Bond cards are a new type of card introduced into the Danelag Expansion. These represent a fealty owned by a new Anglo-Saxon ruler to the conquering Dane ruler. The Dane's kingdom begins the game with 4 bond cards. Each card corresponds to an action type.
Yes.
So the bond cards.
Yeah.
So we have a name at the top.
Yep.
Then you have the action it is associated with in the middle, and then the benefit to the Dane's kingdom on the bottom.
Yep. So for example, the blue one here. So there's the blue marker. Bonds of blood. When the bound kingdom recruits or upgrades, you may immediately place up to 2 settlers in an area you control for free. So somehow you're going to bound a kingdom.
So receiving a bond, B-O-N-D.
The B-O-U-N-D.
Oh,
No, the card is a bond card.
Oh, that's
the
a
effect
bound.
says bound kingdom.
Oh, because it says bonds of knowledge.
No, these all 4 of these say when the bound kingdom, not the bonded, but the bound kingdom.
Wait, when the bound kingdom, because that kingdom is bonded. It's the correct tense.
Oh, bonded.
It's a bonded kingdom, so the bound kingdom
Sure.
is correct. So receiving a
I'm
bond
thinking
card.
like S&M. The dude's tied up.
No. If
He's
an
bound.
Anglo-Saxon kingdom ruler is slain by the Dane's units, the Dane's kingdom player chooses one of the available bond cards and gives the corresponding bond marker to the Anglo-Saxon player whose ruler was slain. The Anglo-Saxon player places the marker on their kingdom board next to the action type and the marker matches.
Yeah, so pretty much with looking at all 4 of these, what it's doing is if you slain someone else's ruler, you're going to get a benefit for everything else they do. So there's a blood one, there's commerce where it impacts collecting. So you'll even if they collect, you also collect. There's a knowledge one, so when they gain knowledge, you may gain knowledge, and then there's experience. When they move, you may draw a lordship card.
So in the words of Ludacris,
What?
when I move, you move. Just like that.
Sure, this was 1980.
Not what? No, that's like early 2000s.
That's still a long time ago.
It's literally in Fast and Furious, your favorite franchise movie.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
an okay song.
When
It's
the
not apt to fool.
Oh my goodness. When the Anglo-Saxon kingdom takes this action, the Dane's kingdom receives the benefit stated on the bond card.
Yeah.
The effect of the card is now active from the moment it received and lasts until the new ruler is slain. At this point, the bond is broken, and that kingdom gives back the bond marker to the Dane kingdom player. This benefits are no longer in effect. The returned bond card becomes available to be used again by the Dane kingdom player. Card benefits. So for develop, when the bound kingdom places a kingdom tile, you may immediately place a kingdom tile of the same color.
Yeah.
Collection, when the bound kingdom collects, immediately gain 2 gold or 1 food. Place the food in any area the Dane kingdom controls. Field, when the bound kingdom recruits or upgrades, you may immediately place up to 2 settlers in an area the Dane kingdom controls for free. Movement, when the bound kingdom takes a movement action, immediately draw 1 lordship card for free.
Yep.
And lastly, yes, slain Dane's ruler. If the Dane's ruler is slain, it is replaced with a new ruler at the start of the next season. The new ruler can be placed on a Drakkar or in any land area that the Dane kingdom controls. Set up for fewer than 5 players. The Danelag Expansion can be played with fewer than 5 players. To do this, set up the game as you would for a 2 to 3 player game. For a 4 player game, there's 3 Anglo-Saxon players and 1 Dane Kingdom player. Set up the game as per base game set up for 3 Anglo-Saxon players. For 3-player games with 2 Anglo-Saxon players and 1 Dane Kingdom player, set up the game as per base set up for 2 Anglo-Saxon players.
Yep. Makes sense.
So it looks like it can't be used in a 2-player game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That'd be a little OP.
Yeah. So this is purely served. So 3 to 4-player games you can use the Danelag
3 to 5.
expansion. Sorry. 3 to 5. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then actually, sorry, one more thing. It has a tribute on the back. When you take control of an area, gain the gold and food provided by that area. Place food in that area. Oh, that's its ability. Sorry.
Woo! Yep. So
Awesome.
overall, that is Bretwalda. All of the optional rules will have chapters here that you would have seen, as well as all 3 expansions. It seems very easy to add each expansion in. The cards are very nicely identified. And overall, it seems like at least the commerce cards and the lordship cards and some of the seasons can just be tossed right in. Regardless if you're going to play through the rest of the part of the expansion. It seemed like in the VK one, you could just add those season cards right in. You could just add the lordship cards right in, which is very nice. So we'll probably end up doing that when we play. We'll have those cycled in, then we'll add the other stuff as it comes. But check out soon. We'll be finding time to do a playthrough and get Bretwalda onto the table. Hopefully we'll find 2 other people and get a full game of 4, maybe, luckily 5, but 4 will be a stretch.
Yeah, I think we'll probably start with the very base to get a feel for it, and then we'll look at the expansions. That way we need to make sure we understand the base and play the base before we start throwing all the extra stuff in. But yeah, very excited. I like it. It has some things that I think worked really well in successors and whatnot, and I think that they refined it a bit. Like the taking control of areas is much more simpler. Like, okay, if you beat someone, take it, or if you move in, and the thing is there, remove theirs, put yours down right away. Yeah. Instead of in successor, you have to like remove it and then wait till the next turn to like put it down and stuff. That was always I think a mark of confusion for a minute each time I started playing. But Soak that in a larger player count can play as the Danes. They have their 5. The other thing is, I was wondering, like, in that, it doesn't say at the end for, like, lower player counts to play with fewer of these. Because it didn't say in the base either, like, when setting up for 2... No, because there's 3, and you can play with 4 players. So you
no, you would get a 4th.
Well, there's... For a 4-player game.
No, for Danelag. Just for using that expansion, you get a 4th.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so I'm saying, would you choose 3 of the 5 to use?
No, 4.
Only, or would you use all 4 and then, because they have 5?
Yeah, I think the Ragnar is something separate because that's the GameFront exclusive.
What's I'm saying. So
I think you probably choose 3 of those plus Ragnar.
If you wanted to use that,
Because I think you would get 4 total. Like, we would have 4 total as another color.
I have the boneless.
I don't know. We'll check in. We'll figure that out.
We will when we get to it. But thank you all for joining us today for this very long rulebook rundown. If you just hop to your favorite chapter, your preferred chapter to check out the expansions, great. Definitely go back and watch the main game run through if you need that. And then check out our playthrough when we have that up. If you want to find out when that's coming, make sure that you are following us on Instagram at Bald and Board Games. And make sure you're also following us on Twitch as well, so you can see when we play this live, because we will definitely be doing a live play of this. And hopefully you are subscribed here on YouTube, so you can see all of our videos going up. We are just about at 500 now.
We are. And if you like war games...
Actually, we will be when this goes out.
Hopefully.
We're 2 away, I think, right now, aren't we?
Oh, you mean videos, not subscribers.
Videos, yeah.
I think subscribers. Yeah. If you're interested in war games, obviously this is one. We will have this up probably at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
But check out live on Twitch December 27th.
Yep. Long one.
We will be, having a very long stream. We will be playing Other Side of the Hill, which is a World War II themed war game. We're going to run the full campaign. Could take up to 20 hours. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, check that out. And then, again, as you mentioned, Instagram will let you know when we're playing Bretwalda.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us here today. I'm Bob.
On board.
And we will see you
in
Bretwalda. No, Britain. Yeah. I'm Bretwalda.